to all the bromunity patiently waiting in orbit. Let's zoom in on the details with Bonz from our planet to answer your biggest questions on staking and blockchain. We've got guests, giveaways, and maybe 𝗀𝗵𝗿𝗆 right here on Saturday Sesh. I'm counting all my crypto. Saturday Sesh. I'm counting all my crypto. Saturday Sesh. I'm counting all my crypto. Shawn and Aidan as our guide. Just learn crypto. JLC is sponsored by 𝗪𝗏𝗁 Canada for the best quality of inventory and service in Ontario today. www.𝗪𝗏𝗁Canada.ca. Also brought to you by Ubiquity, one block at a time for all of your real estate and title management needs. www.ubiquity.io, as well as 𝗪𝗂𝗃 Collectibles, bringing artists and security needs to everyone across the blockchain today. 𝗪2-collectibles.com. That's 𝗪2-collectibles.com. JLC obligatory disclaimer. This is not financial advice. This is not financial advice. How many times do we have to say this? This is not financial advice. P.S. Lambos not guaranteed.
Okay, guys, welcome back to another rendition, another episode of the Saturday Sesh. Got all the bros here, super excited. We got some really exciting guests today. 𝗪𝗏𝗆𝗀𝗍. Oh, we got 𝗪𝗏𝗃 coming in virtually on his phone and on Ken's phone. Two versions of 𝗪𝗏𝗃. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hopping on. We're going to dive today, guys, right into BlockchainValley with Niko. It's super late for him, so we wanted to make sure we got his segment done first so he can go to bed after. So, Niko, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate you staying up super late to be on the show. Introduce yourself, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the project.
Well, I'm a Belgian guy that 12 years ago I came to Bulgaria. Now, Bulgaria is the poorest country in the European Union, but I saw that all the big companies, all the multinationals, and so they move here because since 2008, since the bank crisis, yeah, I guess like in USA, all the companies had to save money, so they start to come here because Bulgaria has the lowest tax in Europe, lowest employee costs, and so on. So I was in the outsourcing 4.5 years after I started my own IT company, came into the world of crypto, blockchain, started to travel a lot, did a lot of events. And then 2 years ago, we had this crazy idea, you know, we came up to a plot of 2 million square meter, just next to the capital of Sofia. And I was just with the 𝗪𝗏𝗃 from the Bitcoin family. We were camping on the Black Sea in Bulgaria, and I said, listen, we have to do something. Let's make something like Silicon Valley, but for blockchain. And then we start, you know, calling around and those crazy ideas. We're going to make a smart city. And then when everything, you know, was ready to start, Corona hit us. So all the events we planned and so they were canceled. So I thought, okay, I have to think out of the box. And we start to make already a virtual copy of the whole smart city, where we can also do like live events, live concerts, seminars, trainings, but also NFTs. We are going to do like virtual galleries that you can visit, live auctions where you can actually see who is bidding against you and so on. And from there on, it went very quick because we were already busy with virtual before Corona, but we start to focus because of Corona really on the virtual part. And I think because of Corona, everybody saw that this is the future, you know, virtual space, blockchain combined, NFT combined, all in one space. So yeah, from there we went. So that was more or less what we are doing.
That's awesome. So you guys are building a physical city. Why did you choose a certain location that you guys chose?
Well, like I said, mainly for tax reasons. Bulgaria has the lowest tax of Europe, being 10% flat tax. So even for startups in the blockchain space, and so it's very interesting to come to Bulgaria. Second thing is Bulgaria is in the top 5 for IT, for developers, also a lot of blockchain developers. So yeah, it's really the place to be in Europe to do something like this.
That's awesome. I know me and Aidan were looking into it and we were like, man, we got to move there. It looks beautiful. The scenery. Yeah, well,
you're not the only one. You already get many guests visiting.
And how how are you guys planning on kind of embodying the culture of crypto? What will be different than living someone else for someone who's a resident?
Well, the thing is, first of all, the whole smart city, we are going to try every process of a city to do it on a blockchain. For example, it will be a gated community. In Bulgaria, you have a lot of gated communities, and you always have service tax for the security bills, for maintaining the gardens, for cleaning the snow, because in the winter we really have winters with a lot of snow. And you pay a maintenance tax, but you actually don't decide who is doing this maintenance, where is the money going through, things like that. We are going to give the citizens voting rights with blockchain. For example, we have 6 companies that want to do the maintenance. Please vote yourself who you want. And then, of course, a transparent ledger with where are going the costs, so much to security, so much to snow cleaning, so much to maintaining the gardens, and so on. But for example, also storing the medical records of patients in the medical center. We are going to have a vertical farm from seed till end consumer. We can track it in blockchain. So every aspect of a smart city, even the domotica smart houses, I believe that it's not safe because if you take the standard password of a router, you can get in somebody's house. But if you do it in combination with blockchain, with the private keys, you make it a lot safer. So every aspect we can, we are going to build on blockchain.
That's super cool.
Then you have all the companies, the startups. They even don't have to be a blockchain company. You can have call centers and so on, but they will be in offices every day exposed to blockchain. And having startups and other companies into blockchain, all those creative minds close together, I think we actually can change the system. Now, being in the poorest country of Europe also have, of course, advantages, because if the government see that this project really works, we can push them, for example, for legislation for selling houses with smart contracts instead of going to a notary and so on. But you can only do it when you start building it and then showing that everything works. And then we can slowly try them to adapt the blockchain is the new step.
So
that's awesome.
There's I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with that. The kind of something similar in Africa, the Akon smart city in Senegal.
Yeah. Yes.
What's going to be different, obviously, other than the location between BlockchainValley and I forget the name of his city, but yeah, the Akon city, I'll call it.
Well, I don't know every aspect that they will do. When we started 2 years ago with the project, I started to reach out to them. Till today, I don't have any response. So I cannot compare because I don't know every aspect they will do. I can only say our goal is to be on every continent in the world. We start in Sofia as a pilot project because not everything will work. We will have to test, we will have to rebuild things, we will have to do things better. The things that are going good, we can also do in other countries and we can adapt to the culture of the country. But the whole technology will be there in place. Yeah, and here very unique is the digital twin that we're gonna have. So everything that happens in the real world can happen at the same time in the virtual twin. So people even don't have to come to Bulgaria to see how it works, to experience it. We can have startups that have a good idea but never get exposure, get into the virtual city to get
which blockchain are you guys building on?
Well, to be honest, we are talking with a lot of blockchain companies to see which blockchain we will use. We are not going to write our own blockchain, but we are talking with different parties.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Like creating a whole city from the ground up is obviously a big task. Do you guys have like an expected completion date or kind of a starting point for someone who wanted to buy property or open a business there?
Well, we are now busy with the last pieces of the master plan. In Bulgaria, the approvals, they go quite fast, somewhere between 3 and 6 months to approve everything. I think in 2 or 3 weeks, the whole master plan will be ready, because we only have to finish the medical center and the subtropical swimming pool. Then we are ready to submit. So our hopes are after the summer already to start preparing the plot, and then, yeah, a few months later to start the actual build. Now, the virtual city will go, of course, faster because we have all the renders, all the plans already. We're already making them all virtual. And then it's just programming that you can walk around there, opening doors, that you can go to virtual concerts, virtual events, NFT auctions, and so on. We already have some demos on our YouTube with 𝗬𝗂𝗪𝗀𝗃𝗵, and we made like a virtual gallery with his artwork. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I know, just poking around on your site, you know, obviously at JLC, we're very passionate about education. And will the schools have a crypto education built into the curriculum?
Yes, even programming. And for me, for example, it's very important. When I was a small child in school, it was always, oh, you're a dreamer, don't dream, because they are preparing you for a system. They are preparing you to work from 9 till 5 and pay taxes your whole life. And you're not supposed to dream. Well, stopping children to dream, it's just the most bad thing you can do, in my belief.
Yeah, so first you learn how to walk and talk, and then you learn how to sit down and shut up.
Yeah. So my idea is just to help them dream, to help them realize their and like you said, programming, and so it should be there for a young early. And we can do there are blockchains enough that want to help, of course, to educate coding for their blockchain. So I'm sure we will have partners there to help us to do that for the education.
That's awesome.
So you're going to sell plots in your... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're TC, you're one step ahead as always. Does the community have any questions?
Yeah. Can you buy plots on this virtual, whatever you're doing?
In the virtual city, we are going to sell, so every house, apartment, and so on that we are going to have in the real world, we are going to sell also in the virtual world. And the whole idea is to make a virtual ecosystem that even companies and so can have their own virtual business, because the plan is to do virtual concerts with very big names, with top DJs, with very big singers, and so on. So it will attract a lot of people, and it will give exposure to the crypto and the blockchain world. That's the whole idea, the whole mindset, so we can educate other people, also people in poor countries that have no bank accounts and so on, so we can expose them to crypto.
When will land be available to buy?
When we will start with the selling, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We still need a few months to program everything. I think by end November, December, we can go live with the whole platform, the virtual one, and then we will start selling.
Excellent. Perfect.
So you will be able to buy the virtual house even before the real one.
And so if you buy a virtual property or piece of land, is it tied to the physical piece, or is it entirely separate? It's
separated. So it will be a one-on-one copy, but it has nothing to do if you own the real house or not. So we have a residential area with 500 villas, and then we have a business park with 1,500 apartments and 100,000 square office space. Those apartments and the office space we are only renting out because we're going to have a security token. So the rent is very good for the ecosystem of the security token. While the villas, they are going to be sold, and we are going to use all the money that comes in, of course, to make projects abroad in other countries.
So is what, like, in terms of the physical city, is the land already bought? Have you guys started developing at all on it yet? Like how far along is the project, and when is it going to be move-in ready theoretically?
Yeah, so the land we have, like I said, once we have the master plan ready, we'll start to make, because this, you have to know that Bulgaria was in the communism times. That plot was like the biggest chicken farm of Europe. There were literally like hundreds of thousands of chickens there, but it was like already like a city because people were not only working there, they were also living there. So all those buildings are in a very bad shape, are still there. So those we are going to break down first.
Okay.
That's why on the site is breaking down the past to build the future. That's where the term comes from. So first we're going to break down those, make the roads, make the electricity, the water, and so on ready, and then we'll start the actual build.
It's awesome. So is this project creating a lot of jobs for?
Yes, because this
for
is
that,
also
like that
something.
area?
This is also something very important. We are like 20 minutes from the capital.
Okay.
Yeah, but we are very accessible because we are like 20 minutes from the airport. They are even going to bring the metro closer to us. So we will be very accessible. But when the communism collapsed, all the jobs, they situated in the big cities, and all the cities around it, they suddenly had to go to the big cities to find work. So actually building a city 20 minutes from Sofia, of course, we will create a lot of jobs for the restaurants, the bars, the office spaces, because a lot of Bulgarians speak a lot of languages like French, German, and so on. So the outsourcing industry, they want, of course, for in the call centers to do customer support and so on. They want, of course, to have people working for them. So there is again an aspect that we really care to help people to have jobs, and in a later stage also to do charity projects.
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, what's I don't know the laws over there. What's the laws on cannabis where that city's going to be built? Are people going to be allowed to partake, or is it pretty strict over there? No, it's a serious question. Like, I wouldn't move somewhere if I was going to get arrested for walking down the street smoking a joint, you know?
Well, today it's not allowed yet, but I have to say, in whole Europe, they are slowly approving this in every country. So I think this will come.
Well, that leads us to it's happy 420, guys. So if you brought it, light it.
Ken's vaping in
Cameron, I
IHOP.
see you lighting it. Ken and I. Quality over quantity. I love spending the 420 Saturdays with you guys. All right, Niko, thanks for. Oh, what's up, TC?
I might get kicked out of IHOP, but it was worth it. I love you.
Ken always comes through. Oh, we even got Aidan coughing at 420. Jeez. TC, did you have a question for Niko?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, do you have kind of like a ballpark price on your plots? Like, can you buy a whole subdivision kind of thing, or like how's it work?
How do I become a landlord?
To be honest,
Can I buy a whole apartment? Yeah, go ahead.
To be honest, we didn't put the price in yet on the virtual part, because this I still have to do with my financial team. For the houses, more or less, yes, but for the virtual part. But, you know, you can always do us an offer and I will consider it.
God, imagine having TC as a landlord.
Maybe a better question, because I know you guys are doing all different sizes of properties and different houses and stuff. So if you compared it to the closest nearby city, is it going to be more or less expensive, and by how much?
Well, to be honest, I always learned if you want to change the system, you have to use the system. What I mean is, here we went for luxury houses because we have a lot of contacts, investors in the Middle East and so on. And in Bulgaria, you have like this passport scheme. So if you invest €1 million over a period of 2 years, you get Bulgarian citizenship. For people in the Middle East, this is something, of course, very valuable, because then they can travel into Europe without a visa. So what I mean is, use the system to change the system. Is if we want to build a city on blockchain technology, we need money, of course. So that's why we attract first rich people, so we can make the whole ecosystem show that it works. And then we can adapt in other countries to, of course, the budget of the locals.
Yeah, well, I know that in itself makes you guys different than the 𝗃𝗂𝗁 because I know he was, I think, $6 billion funded from some Chinese enterprise. So I'm sure there's a lot of clucking heads behind that project. I haven't even seen any progress on that one either. They've been talking about that 𝗃𝗂𝗁 one for a while, but they that one's pretty futuristic looking. I really like the luxury touches you guys have. I've seen a lot of like the renderings and stuff, and it's a nice bougie city. I could see myself driving a Lambo through there.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
Yeah, no, it's the artwork's great, man. Super excited. Hey, listen, if you have any links that you want to share for social media, the websites, if you can throw them in the chat here, we'll make sure that we get those shared out. Thanks so much for coming on and teaching us a little bit about BlockchainValley. Is there any, when's the next kind of big milestone you guys are aiming for?
Well, in the next days, so we built a security token in Liechtenstein. We did that in Liechtenstein because it's the only country in Europe where you actually can tokenize your company. So every person that invests owns a little share of the company. So in the next days, they will actually start minting the security token. So for me, this is, of course, the first big milestone. So then we will start the private round. Investors, €100,000 and more. So it's around $120,000. And after that, we will start the public sale. But how things are going now, it can be that we even don't need public sale.
Interesting. Huh. Yeah, it's crazy how the laws change so much from one country and one part of a country even to another.
Yeah, so we set up the holding in Liechtenstein, and then we have the daughter company in Bulgaria actually doing the project. So the profits are going to Liechtenstein to pay out, of course, the token holders.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. Well, we'll definitely be sure to make sure that we're following up and helping support you in this project, man. So if you ever have links you want to share, let us know. We'll throw it up on the Twitter. But yeah, I know it's super late, like 3 or 4 in the morning for you. So
no, to be honest, it's still okay because when you set me in the morning 9, I start counting till 4. But it's quite okay. It's just midnight here. So.
Awesome, man. Well, okay, sweet. Well, I mean, you're more than welcome to hang out for the rest of the Zoom. We've got Bonz coming on from 𝗪𝗲𝗁, looking cool. At least I'm not the only one wearing sunglasses inside.
So checking it out, my man.
Awesome. Well, Niko, thanks for coming on. Bonz, welcome to the Saturday Sesh.
My pleasure, and thank you to invite me.
Glad to be here, man. Good to meet you, brother.
Yeah, I always appreciate guests taking time out of their Saturday to come hang out on a Zoom call with us. So we really appreciate it. And we've got a lot of 𝗪𝗲𝗁 junkies on this call, including my co-host and business partner, Aidan.
I have a problem. My name's
Aidan has a problem. TC's got a problem. A lot of us, we need to start a support group for each other for 𝗪𝗲𝗁.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, I mean, like bills aren't getting paid.
You guys are spending a little too much time away from your family.
Yeah, I haven't seen my dog in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been like people are like, especially when those inventions start popping off, people are like glued. Like they pop up and then they're gone. Like I don't know if you guys were paying attention to what happened today. Like I've been busy. I had all kinds of shit going on this afternoon. I think like 2 things got invented. They're already gone. Yeah. People are like crushing the generator right now. It's like once things get started, dude, people then I've been there, man. It's hard to walk away from your computer. I got my family in the back, like I got things to do, and I'm just like, well, wait, babe, like gotta craft this NFT here. We got one more thing. Let me just craft one more element before they're gonna be gone. If I wait, they're gonna be gone. Yeah.
Back when you guys were doing the first round of elements, I was setting alarms 4 hours into my sleep to wake up, check, go back to sleep. Like
dude, it was
I know,
bad,
dude.
Man.
There was a couple times when I was like, I didn't want to go to sleep. Like we were all trying, and I was like up all night, and I'm like, dude, I know if I go to sleep, I'm gonna wake up, they're gonna be gone, And like I'm laying in bed and I see something getting invented, and then I'm like, shit, I gotta get out of bed and craft this thing right now. Like And then I'm like, nah, I'll wait till the morning. I'll do it first thing, you know. And that was right when shit just started like popping off. Like you couldn't wait till the morning anymore. It used to be, dude, you used to have like 2 days.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I remember
Sometimes
like
weeks.
there was a time like a week. Yeah, like it depends. Like those expensive when those first what we used to call the expensive ones when they like first started costing like $1 million, you know, back in the day, like 1 million was like super expensive. They'd sit there for a week because it was like, well, no one's got $1 million, so we have time to craft all these like 500K elements and you know. But man, I love those. I love that, you know. And I guess it's like, you know, there wasn't as many people then, you know, and I guess it's like 600 was the right number. That amount of people that we had then, it was like, it was just perfect, you know. Now people are hungry, everybody wants that element. There's so many people have been stacking ether because there hasn't been a lot of invention, so it's like everybody's like chomping at the bit. So now it's like crazy, like you got to be like actually already at your computer ready to rock when the shit gets invented if you want a chance to get the NFT. And that's kind of
one of my friends just got pulled a legendary, I think it was painting. And they saved up all their Aether for it. They called me almost in tears. Like I hit the jackpot here. Like it's almost like a lottery ticket where if you lose, you just get your money back.
It's so, dude, it's so true. Because the thing is it's like, and I used to tell people this all the time. People were like, oh man, you know, crafting elements. And I'm like, but dude, you know, it's like, even if you get that comment, there's a guaranteed ROI. Like that's the one thing. It's like, you know, you're going to get that Aether back, and then it gives you another lottery ticket, right? So
yeah,
it's like,
wait till the poker players find out about this shit.
That's kind of like one of the tricks of the whole thing, right? Is like playing the game, because the whole thing is, as you just pointed out, right? It's all about how many lottery tickets can you get. In a way, right? Because in a way, every time you get to open one of those packs, it is a little bit like a lottery ticket, especially with these like expensive ones, right? Like they're paying crazy amounts. So it's like, how many lottery tickets do you want to buy? That's one way you kind of think about it, because it's like, and plus you just get that fun of opening the NFT, right? It's like getting to open the pack is like part of the fun.
That's the dopamine hit that we're all after.
A very common
we're all
thing
gambling, and we're like,
a very common thing I hear is like, our planet is just such a simple game. I don't get it. You know, you stake and then you take your Aether, and it's like, no, like you're missing the entire point.
Totally.
And even when it comes to the elements that are being created right now, like a big part of the game now is looking ahead at the ones that have yet to been discovered and kind of weighing the odds of like, you know, this is probably going to lead to this, so I can almost double down. And it'll cost me a lot less to mint the next level. Absolutely, dude. I mean, people, you know, the people who were really paying attention early on really took the idea of the chains like to the next level, and that honestly was like, that really separated the people who were serious about the game and who were just the casual players. Because if you really planned ahead and you went heavy on the ones that you knew would be a chain, you know, because how many of us probably are sitting with a bunch of FTs from something that we crafted a bunch of times, but then it was never really used again. Whereas it's like, if you were right there paying attention to the ones that you knew would be a chain, like today we got crude, right? And right away someone, I think it was plastic, that got invented right after. So it's like if you were, you know, on the ball and you were able to get a bunch of those crudes, you're already right in line to be quick with the plastic, and then you're going to be quick in line with the next thing that uses plastic, and so on and so forth. So it's like, yeah, being in on those chains was like one of the early strategies. If you figured that out and you could just think logically of what would logically be in another recipe, then you definitely had a huge advantage. And like you said, it's such a simple game, right? The whole first phase of this game, which is the alchemy section, right? It's based off this really simple game, like the little alchemy game. It's just this really simple, fun little game. Was it is it Doodle God?
It's called Little Alchemy.
Okay.
It's probably similar. It's probably very similar. And so Little Alchemy, and I think it was maybe only 2 things that you threw into like that you mixed together, might have been, but I mean, it's just a very simple game. I mean, it's been around for a long time. Like a little, like basically it was like a kids game, like young kids could play it. It was a very simple game, and it was like, you know, it was just fun though. It taught a little bit of alchemy and a little bit of, you know, reasoning was involved, so it was kind of like a fun little thought game. But so yeah, I mean, this whole first phase is essentially for the people who actually know what's going on here. Like, we're just creating all these FTs because these fungible tokens are all part of this next main part of this game that we're all building towards, right? And as we reminded everybody, like just today with this update to the roadmap, right? The last paragraph of this thing is reminding everybody, just remember, you never know which fungible token elements will save you when the going gets rough. There's no doubt these chipped animals like are going to be in for a rough time. The battle has just begun. Like there's going to be like battles coming, and those fungible tokens that people are making are going to matter. Like we've been telling people that the whole time. Like the upgrading of lands will be based on, you'll need these elements to build your base on our planet, which is where you're going to use those minerals that we've all been mining to build your robots, right? There's this whole game unfolding, and the people who were paying attention knew that it was coming. It's still coming. We've just today delivered this roadmap, so now people hopefully understand like there's actually a timeline in this. We've been working on the robot phase and the next phase of the game for a long time now, and it's like it takes time to build these things. It's like it's been coming together in the UI and to actually update the roadmap. Robots is coming soon, which like it's the upgrade to the land. So like basically you're mining more minerals, you'll be able to produce more robots, because the deal is it's going to be like how many robots can you make? It's going to be like basically like having all these different types of robots, and the strategy is going to be like, you know, beefing up your lands with the fungible tokens to make like the bomb base, so that you can create all the robots that you need. And there's all these different types of robots. So there's like infantry robots, and there's like these, as we saw, like the contest was like for the catapult robots, right? So it's like you know, you're going to basically have to think like, do you want to be like more offense oriented or defense oriented? You're going to basically be like using your fungible tokens, which is what we're creating right now, this whole alchemy phase of the game. We need that Aether, we need these fungible tokens to be building up our bases. So it's like they're all going to be needed, right? So if you could think of which ones that you should be creating that you might actually be able to also use for an NFT, which is going to be that positive feedback loop, more Aether production, more, you know, which is going to equal more mineral production, because you're going to have those FTs. So it's just like anybody who's actually playing the game, and that's kind of how it's been from the beginning. Like if you were playing the game and you were taking your Ether and putting it in the generator and creating new NFTs, you were giving yourself another chance every single time. And so for those people who have been playing the game, and as we, you know, we kind of started the you know, reward your players, hashtag wrecked bots, right? We were the first ones to actually enact this whole, if you're playing the game, you're going to be on a whitelist, which now of course you see other projects, you know, jumping on, because people saw what we've done and they saw what worked and they saw what helped us build, you know, pretty much one of the awesomest communities in all of Wax, right? So it's like we have this huge community. People love the idea of being able to like be rewarded for playing the game. I remember when we did that at the time, it was really awesome. Like at one point we basically took a snapshot, and everyone who had played the game, as long as you had used the generator twice, you were going to be able to basically be in on the land sale. And at the time, like nobody was doing that, and we basically wanted to make sure that everyone had a piece of land.
I'm guilty. I've never used the generator yet. Still.
Oh wow, dude, you got to try it.
I've tried.
He's tried. I'm not a sit at the computer all day kind of guy.
Oh, dude, I know. So the thing is like, and it's too bad you kind of missed that phase, because before it was just like log on whenever you want. You could check out which things still had NFTs available, right? You could literally just look. There'd be like 6 to choose from sometimes. Sometimes there'd be like 2 or 3, right? But you'd have all these ones to choose from and all these price ranges. And you could just be like, oh, how much Ether do I have saved up? I have like, you know, 1 million Ether. Okay, cool. This one costs like 500K. I'll make a couple of these. And then you just stack a couple more NFTs, right? And then every time you get to stack those couple NFTs, it was like another chance at a mythic, another chance at a mythic, another chance at a mythic. You know, and it's like it's just a matter of time, right? You just keep opening enough NFTs, and eventually you're going to get some good stuff. And then boom, now you leveled up. You went from guppy to dolphin or whatever. Now you're a whale, and you have that 100K Aether per hour. And that's how you stack enough Aether, so that then when these expensive ones come up, because when the expensive ones had come up, they were there for like a week. They used to be anyway. Yeah. Like now it's a little bit like even the expensive ones like seem to now. It'll be really interesting to see actually, like when one of these new expensive ones comes up, just how much Aether everyone's been stacking, because it'll be interesting to see how fast they go. In other words, like, you know, I think it was like NFT and money. You had these elements that started costing like 50, 60 million Aether, right? Like I didn't even have enough. I never had enough Aether to actually even craft one, you know? And I was saving up. I started saving up. And then I was like all about, I was going to hit that NFT, and then it was gone right when I almost had enough. I would have, like a couple more days I would have had enough. And I missed it. But it's like, yeah, it'll be cool to see if that happens again, how long it takes. And then it'll be interesting to see who was patient enough and held their Aether for that whole time instead of dumping it. Like you're going to be in a prime position to be able to grab those like expensive NFTs. And it's those expensive NFTs that produce the, like, you know, all you need is like a rare or like, you know, an uncommon even pays like, you know, they pay crazy Aether per hour, right? And then you're leveled up. Now you're like stacking Aether, you know? And that's what it's all about, you know?
I've got a humble 21,000 Aether an hour coming in on my account.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I
There was
definitely,
a time.
what's that?
There was a time. There was a time when, like, dude, at the beginning of the game, the elements only cost like 400K, 300K, 200K, and like there was a time when that was like the whale. Like for a long time, I had like 20 something thousand, and I could
I was
make
happy.
everything.
I was happy
Yeah.
with that income, like, because I'm guilty. I've swapped over some to wax, and
Sure.
you know, it was a great income for a while, for sure, man.
Yeah.
And I love what you've created. That you've created a way that anyone in the world can, with the right amount of time and strategy, create, maybe a few bucks a day, a week, a month isn't going to change our lives.
I was buying that stuff in bulk. I was buying all the legendary in bulk. Like I think I was buying between $9 and $13.
Oh,
Yeah,
the rigs and stuff,
the
the
miners,
elements.
yeah, like April.
Oh, wow.
All Shawn's fault. He says, you got to check out NFTs. And I said, nah. And then like a week later, he says, no, you really got to look at it. So I spent maybe half a day looking, and I went, oh shit. And I took 100 LTC and put it all into 𝗪𝗲𝗄𝗃. I just went,
Whoa.
Yeah. TC whaled
Wow,
out.
dude.
I was
You whaled out?
buying it as much as I could. I was like, why isn't everybody doing this?
I hope your timing was good. I hope your timing was good because, yeah, I mean, like there was, as everyone has seen, there's this ebb and flow, right? There was going all the way back to the beginning when we did that first rig sale. People were like, oh no, if you start producing more Aether per hour, you're going to dump the price. And it was like, then, then more people came. And so then the price went up, and then we did another rig sale and the price went down. And it's like, and the bottom line is anyone who's just playing the game, just staking NFTs, you didn't need to worry about the Ether price at all. You didn't need to be buying, Ether. All you need to do is have your rigs, have them stake, and then actually make NFTs. And, that's all you needed to do.
Well, that was the beauty of it, was like, I got into NFTs and wax in January, and I started telling everyone like, yo, this is so cool. And this was before, 𝗪𝗲𝗁 and staking was really well known and up and running for the world. So it was like, we were the
first ones, bro.
I know,
man. I mean, dude, we started the whole thing, and dude, when we started it, there was no generator, right? We just and we never done a sale either. This is another thing for people to remember. Like, there was no sale. We didn't sell anything. We just said, hey, come stake your NFTs here. We're going to give you these tokens for free, and you'll be able to use them. You'll be able to use them when our game launches.
Well, thank God you guys.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Thank God you guys had the 𝗀𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗃 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗀, because that's really what brought that's what brought me in, and that's what brought pretty much everyone else here in, from me telling them, guys, go check out 𝗪𝗲𝗁.
Dude, and that's the genius of the whole thing. We picked every community, right? We picked the Blockchain Heroes guys. We picked the GPK guys. I know all those GPK dudes. They're all my bros. We picked I was part of the Blockchain Heroes. I was doing the Zoom calls every week. They had a whole community going, right? 𝗀𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗃 got his whole community. You guys are all chilling. You guys like do your whole thing.
Well, that's
like,
what I love.
You know what I'm saying?
My favorite saying, my favorite saying when I tell people about 𝗪𝗲𝗁 is, you can just stake and bake.
Oh, dude. Yeah. What other job could you have where you could just basically stake and bake, and you got that passive income where you don't need to be like pressing buttons all day, or or going to a physical job and like sweating and doing work. No, I'm just kidding. I still work my ass off too. I'm sure we all do. But having that passive income, like it's like magic internet money, right? It's like money is just like
blockchain gaming all day.
Yeah, and that's the big thing with our brand, and like that's the big message I try to tell so many people, is that if you find 10 ways to make $1 a day, and then you start compounding that, like it's all about knowing the community. And I mean, even look at this group. We've got 20 people that understand this game and recognize the power behind it, and it's just about multiplying those numbers and getting more people to realize, because there's 1.5 billion people underbanked in the world. And living on poverty lines, and if we can just show them how to make a couple bucks a week, there's going to be a few of them that turn into Aidans and be like, holy shit, if you do X, Y, and Z, I can multiply this by 10 and blah blah blah, and pull their families and their communities out of poverty. You know what I mean? And that's where I think this is going with blockchain gaming, is there's people that have the time to put in to do the research, figure it out, and that need that income. And you guys are one of the main companies providing that in the NFT space right now. So thank you, man.
Yeah, dude. No, you hit the nail right on the head. You're 100% right. Like how I kind of think, and yeah, we've been doing that for a long time, dude. You got to remember, we launched Prospectors like years ago, and it was the first fully on-chain MMO game, right? And so naturally, right, like we started off like, naturally it was us, and everyone's telling their friends. It was a lot of Westerners, and there was people literally from all over the world, right? Like there's people into EOS, and had at that time, I guess 2017, 2018, there was only a few options of the 𝗃𝗲𝗁 chain. So it was like, there wasn't a whole lot you could do in crypto, right? So it was like, there wasn't like games. There wasn't a lot of games you could play, really, right? There was gambling. There was gambling. There was very few things.
And
like 2017, I mean, you remember it was like CryptoKitties was like the first thing, because you could almost play it. There was a thing to actually play, right?
I remember meeting them at a conference in like at the beginning of 2018. And I was there with 𝗀𝗵𝗿𝗆, and we were like, this is the coolest thing. And that was back when it like crashed the blockchain.
Yeah, like you couldn't even use Ethereum, right? They couldn't even use Ethereum because
dude, it was nuts. I remember us being like, someone spent $165,000 on a fucking CryptoKitty, and then like now I'm looking at like
in the meantime, people are spending like millions of dollars on like a 𝗃𝗵𝗏.
Yeah, $69
I never heard of a
million.
𝗃𝗵𝗏 yesterday. Yesterday, I never heard of a 𝗃𝗵𝗏. I just found out someone spent $2 million on a 𝗃𝗵𝗏. I'm like, oh, really? I never heard of a 𝗃𝗵𝗏. It's like fucking pixel art.
And it doesn't even stake.
It doesn't
it has no utility. That's what these guys, all these Ethereum guys, literally haven't even got it yet, But anyway, so they're all going to figure it out because Ethereum is going to proof of stake, and they'll eventually realize that staking is the way. But yeah, they're all still stuck on proof of work. It's kind of funny. But yeah, you know what's funny?
What
is
sounds better, stake and bake or work and bake? I think stake and bake sounds better.
Yeah, I mean work. Yeah, it's staking. Yeah, is easier than working.
I do love proof of work algorithm though. For Bitcoin.
Oh, dude, I mean Bitcoin. I mean, dude, proof of work is the proof of the work. I mean, that's everything else is just.
But it doesn't work.
Experiment.
But it's not going to work for Ethereum, and they need high transaction.
Oh, yeah. There's two totally different things. Yeah, you don't need the gold base layer of gold of the monetary system to run all our apps on, right? It doesn't make sense. Like you have Bitcoin, and it's the original. It's gold, and then then we have proof of stake, so we can all play games. Like it's perfect. It perfectly makes sense, and I totally get it. And Wax, and I was in EOS.io early on, and that's how I was actually got linked up with the guys, and we launched prospectors on EOS. We chose EOS as a 𝗃𝗲𝗁 chain because it would support what we were trying to do. When we did our ERC20 launch for the prospectors token, the ICO was like on Ethereum, but we knew early on, it was like, we were building a fully on-chain MMO game. You can't do that on Ethereum. I mean, like every single move, like when you pick up when you take your shovel out of your backpack
that's
and
transaction.
put it in your guy's hand so he can start digging a hole in the game, that's literally on the blockchain, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was the first fully on-chain game. So yeah, we had to use a chain like EOS, and of course, like we were a little bit ahead of our time. There wasn't a lot of people into blockchain gaming. There was no such thing as blockchain. I mean, blockchain gaming was so niche. It still is kind of like niche. I mean, there's literally like very few people that are really, blockchain gaming is just scratching the surface, right? Like there's games. I mean, we're at the beginning of what's going to be just a gigantic, huge, it's going to swallow the entire gaming industry. But in the meantime, right? So we launched this game. Getting back to your original point, it's a game where if you put in the work, it's another proof of work type of game. Sort of the, our planet is your proof that you're a collector, so you're proof of staking. Whereas our planet, prospectors, right? You're actually working, you're setting up a business, you're putting your guys to work. You build up a building, and then you build up a little workshop, and in that workshop you have your guys building tools. So you got to tell them, use these materials, make these tools, boom. You got to go collect those tools. You're working, and that proof of work is creating these fungible tokens that are for sale. They have a value, right? They're just like we all know, we all take for granted now. Yeah, sure, we can create these fungible tokens out of thin air and they have a value. But at the time, it was like, wait, you guys created an economy in a game and people are paying money to rent, buy tools and all this shit. Like, how does that work? And it's because they created this, it's genius. I mean, the entire economy, they created an economy from, you could be mining the dirt all the way to like the dude that's assembling wagons, all the way to the dude that just rolls in with nothing. And all I want to do is go work at a job. And it's an entire economy, just like the real world economy, where you can do everything from run a business to just be the worker who rolls in with nothing. And I just want a job to go work for somebody. And that's what Prospect is really built. And so getting back to your original point about like these people, like it really levels the playing field for like the whole world, right? Because as we all know, like crypto banks, everybody. Now we just cut the banks out of it. We don't need you anymore, banks. We don't need you, Federal Reserve. Bitcoin is money. We can build off that base layer. We all have all these cryptos. Just basically saying, just like you were saying, dude, like everyone in the world now has access to the same banking infrastructure. We all have a bank in our pocket. It sort of levels the playing field for the whole world, right? Like just like anyone in the world now can work remote. Like if you have skills. Like you can code, or you can, you know, write smart contracts. You could be doing that from a beach in Bali, or some person who studied real hard who lives anywhere on the planet can do that job. From all you need is a phone and an internet connection. It just leveled out the whole world. As long as you have a phone and internet connection, we're all equal. And that's like the most democratizing thing that's ever happened to the human race, right? And dude, so these games, right now, there's an opportunity for anyone in the whole world to pick up a phone and be like, hey, I'll build a business in the prospectors world, and then I'll buy a couple NFTs and stake them on our planet, and I'm playing with all the same people all over the world. We all have the same opportunity, right? That's what it's about.
So that's one of the things I think the end user needs to see something better out of all, like the majority of blockchain games, is the user interface on a phone. Because the reality is these 1.5 billion underbanked people, the chances of them having a smartphone compared to a home PC are astronomically swayed in the cell phone area, right? Because it's still not that, like even 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃, everything, like it's not that fun to do all the shit on your phone. It's a
no, that's true. No, that's totally true. And it's the same with prospectors. Like if you're trying to play it on your phone, you're at a disadvantage because it's not a web app. Whereas if you're playing it on your PC, right? But dude, the good thing with technology is, I mean, the thing that you can just like literally all of that, when you just zoom out one step, it's like, dude, just think about how technology and the Moore's law, right? Like they'll all have a super sick iPhone, and it'll only take a couple of years, right? And everybody on the planet will have a super sick iPhone, and it'll cost a fraction of what it costs today, right? Because that's just how it goes. Think about the cell phone you had like 10 years ago. Like, dude, like 10 years ago, we were opening this flip phone, and to do a text, we were like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like.
I remember T9 texting everyone.
You know what I'm talking about? Where you had
message
to, like,
me after 9 when my phone's free.
Remember how you had to hit the button, like if you wanted to do C, you had to do like 1, 2, 3. You know, it was like ABC was like 1, 2. You had to hit the button 3 times. It would scroll through like ABC. Did you ever have a phone like that? I mean, yeah, like the original phones, like yeah, because it only had a number of phones.
Like the
TC is still learning how to do that.
Yeah, so like
TC is like, do you remember when we used to put on armor and hit each other with swords?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey man, I want to.
I'm right there with you, man.
So we like to pull shorts out of these clips and find find the high focus points for education. So would you be able to explain 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 to a 5-year-old?
If you're talking about explaining the game, like the game of the alchemy and the fact that we get these tokens, it would be like my daughter immediately got it, and she was like, "Yeah, we get these tokens because she understands this, the basic concept of being invested in the ecosystem." So like this whole proof of collector concept, like these type of concepts and the specifics of it, like how cards are actually being staked or whatever, it's easy for even a kid can understand the fact that like, hey, we collect all these cards, so we're taking part and participating in this ecosystem. We're invested in the ecosystem by our time and our energy and monetarily. So like we're in this ecosystem, and for being part of that ecosystem, we're getting this reward. And what's the reward but a game token? It gives us this ability to play this game. And my daughter is right there to be helping us. Me and my wife have been like trying to come up with some of these inventions and stuff. And my daughter, honestly, she knew from Minecraft, she was like, well, in Minecraft you can create obsidian from, she like spit out this recipe, right? And she actually was really close. We started going through the recipes, and while we were trying to figure it out, someone discovered obsidian, and it was one of the ones we were going to try. So like, dude, like kids get it. Like she knew that like my daughter knew the recipe before I did because she's playing Minecraft. Like the kids are on top of it. They get it. They get these in-game economies. They're going to grow up with this stuff. And so like, you know, my daughter's into Roblox, right? They're using these game tokens to buy all this stuff in the game. It's going to come totally natural to this whole next generation to understand.
We're so early.
We're so early. And the thing is like these kids already get inherently that I'm putting my time into this game. Think about all of us, right? That we grew up with like Nintendo and like whatever we grew up with, right? PS, whatever. I grew up with a ColecoVision. I'm old school. I had an Atari 2600, right? Like we put in like thousands of hours and we got nothing, right? Then kids start to realize, well, hey, if I put thousands of hours into playing a game, I would like to be able to save those game items, or better yet, I would like to be able to actually like put in work in this game and then be rewarded. Maybe I could sell that sword that I crafted or that armor that took me 1,000 hours to create. So it's like once that really like now you have these kids that are growing up with that. They're expecting that this time that I put into this metaverse is going to pay off. I'm going to own that.
Yeah.
And they expect true ownership. And that's what NFTs really created, was this true ownership of game items, of everything in life. So it's like, it starts with these kids playing games, but these kids playing games now are going to be playing to create those NFTs in the future. They're going to be, their whole life is going to be NFTs. Everything they own, every asset you own, your house, the deed to your house could be an NFT. Like, these kids are going to grow up with a wallet.
Some 10-year-old kid who's going to become a millionaire from playing a blockchain game, and all of his friends who are playing fucking games that aren't paying the money are going to be like, shit, we need to be playing blockchain games.
That's, of course, dude, that's network effect, right? We already see that, right? A lot of people came into crypto. How many people come into crypto because their bros like, dude, I just made a shitload of money doing this, right? Like, you were even telling me you got your buddy into NFTs. That dude, that whale, right? Dude's like, I whaled out because homie told me there's this opportunity in blockchain, right? So it's the gains that gets people to be like, what's going on over here, right? There's something interesting to pay attention to. And so then once you get in for the gains, you realize, wait a minute, this is actually the revolution. This is the future. This is actually the next step of where this is all going, where technology is going. Blockchain
this next generation is so screwed, but also has such a huge opportunity, like, for the ones that get into this industry. Because like these 9-10-year-old kids right now that are starting to get into games and maybe learning how to code even at a young age, like, they're going to have some of the craziest opportunities to work for some of the most unique and up and coming, like, future Fortune 500, 100 companies out there. Because like, it's the developers are going to be in demand. Like, even the fact that, like, I know TC is like working with some kids that are great at doing Minecraft. Like, these kids can make money from their skills that they had from playing video games and bring that into the blockchain world as they grow up. I'm excited for the next gen, man. They've got some cool shit in their future.
Dude, Minecraft, dude, right? Like, you got this whole Uplift crew, right? I'm sure you guys are all know about them and all up in the Uplift, right? So now it's like, my daughter now knows, she's like crafting stuff in Minecraft. She's building these lands. I'm like, I have no idea. Honestly, I missed the whole Minecraft like boat. I never got into Minecraft. I'm too old for that. I kind of missed it.
Oh,
but
you're
it's
never
like, dude,
too old.
I mean, dude, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out.
Living proof.
I spend at least 5 hours in there a day.
Are you figuring you can build,
And
you figured out how to
50.
build stuff? Wow,
Oh shit,
dude.
I've been playing
Last
Minecraft
week it was
for 10
4.
years. I've been playing Minecraft for 10 years. Yeah.
Oh, well,
I love
dude,
it.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you already know how to do it. I'm saying I missed the boat. Like, I didn't figure it out when it came out. And now you got all these people that are like experts and I can't even figure it out. So I feel like I'm just like behind the 8 ball. I need to like pay someone else who already knows how to do it. Because I just literally dude, you know, you get so busy. There's so much stuff to pay attention to. I tried to figure out how to build a little bit in Minecraft. My daughter's like, get out of the way, Dad. Like, here, boom. She takes the mouse out of my hand. She's like, click, 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 click. She's got the shithole. She's like, I'm sitting here trying to figure out like one thing at a time. She's like, no, boom, get out of my way. Boom.
That's how TC felt with me last week.
She's got a whole building built. Like, I'm literally sat there. I literally had nothing done. Like 5 seconds later, she has this whole, she's like, what are you trying to do, Dad? Like, dude, I'm just like totally, I'm just a noob. I'm straight up noob.
On the topic of Uplift, you're going to be able to uplift your land. Is that live yet?
Like, absolutely.
Your 𝗪𝗏𝗪 land, and can you maybe dive into that a little bit? And
absolutely, man. I mean,
I did that this week. I did that.
Yeah.
I bought my 4 lands and I upgraded them to Uplift. I don't know what it's going to do, but I did it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you think about it. You planted a seed. You just planted a seed into the future of passive income. Like that property, that property, think about it. You're doing nothing. Cause dude, I forget who said it. Maybe it's all about earning money while you sleep, right? Some famous like investor said that, right?
Some
like,
rich guy.
Some rich guy figured out a long time ago. It's all about compounding interest and passive income, right? So yeah, I mean, dude, like you think about all these different opportunities we have, and just like how our planet, right? Like we're earning tokens passively. Well, that whole Minecraft like server thing that Uplift guys are doing is amazing because obviously they're working hard to grow it, so they're going to bring more players in, and the more players that come in, there's people going to be walking across your land, there's people going to be interacting with the ecosystem there, and you're going to be just getting, you're going to do, theoretically you could do nothing, but or you could participate in it, you could build up like your Minecraft like world to be like some cool thing, like you could build a gigantic like shrine. Like one of the things we talked about for our planet was we're going to like build this like gigantic sort of like shrine. Like I picture it like a cross between like the Baseball Hall of Fame and like you know, sort of like a shrine where it'll be like almost like a church or a museum where people will go in and they can see every element that was created, and it'll show the recipe and it'll show like who created it, and it'll be like this big shrine with like a big gigantic Captain Pig at the end, like the big Buddha and the big like temple or whatever. But anyway, so getting back to the uplift,
We'll have to have like
uplift,
TC's a statue of TC in there, you know.
I wish this guy had some passion.
TC, you can. So yeah, dude, like you could in the uplift has been live now for a minute, and we just recently went live with the uplift for the new land, which is 𝗪𝗏𝗹𝘆. So it started with the Swineland region. Now it's live for 𝗪𝗏𝗆. So essentially, no matter what our planet land you own, if you own any piece of our planet land, you can now take that ether that you're getting basically for free. You just stake your NFTs. You can take that and you can now upgrade your it's called, excuse me, uplift. You can uplift your our planet land, and you're going to get a free plot in the uplift metaverse, which will grant you basically land rights to that plot. So if you're into Minecraft, you can go to that plot and you can build on it and like create like your own whatever you want. And also now, as bro was just explaining earlier, right? Like there's people who play Minecraft who are now working. You could basically hire somebody who plays Minecraft to come build out your land. Like people are now like basically like, hey, I'll come build on you. Like if you don't know how to play Minecraft, which is so cool. It's like,
Bonz. My name's William Barnes. You're describing me, sir. Our valid come into your land and build anything you want. And on every place we build, we include an element of our valid Genesis storyline.
oh yeah, bro. Hey, I would like to hire you. Can you drop your hey, let's everyone who needs someone to build in Minecraft, this guy, drop your link in the chat, because I kind of want something too. And you know, I think other people probably do too, because it would be cool to basically, and so dude, this is what it's all about. Like we're networking here, right? Like you have a Minecraft skill. Like my daughter literally has a Minecraft skill. If she wanted, she could probably be building on, she's super cool. She could build all this cool shit. Like I was literally telling her, I was like, people are paying people to build on their Minecraft land.
Bonz, you have no idea how many people are screaming for builders right now inside Minecraft.
Really?
Your kid could be making,
board is after
your kid
TC.
could be making mega allowance. Mega.
I love this, dude. This is what it's this is what it's all about. This is what
And
it's
then
all
there's
about.
TC who just loads a whole building full of dynamite and blows it up for fun.
Oh, I heard about all kinds of crazy stuff. People stealing villagers and all these things. You could trap them on a boat, I guess, is like the trick. I don't even know what they're talking about, but there's all these guys talking like it was fascinating for me to be reading about what people are doing in Minecraft. I have no idea. I love it though. So yeah, the partnership with the Uplift guys is awesome. These guys obviously are you know, they're a force now. They're a force in this, not only the wax thing, but the entire like metaverse universe, because there's going to be a lot of Minecraft people who are going to come into blockchain gaming or just start to look into this stuff and like realize that hey, there's something I recognize. I used to play Minecraft, and now I realize there's metaverse based in a Minecraft server. Hey, this is the one, because as we all know, there's all different flavors, right? There's all these different flavors of metaverses, and you know, depending on which chain you're following, and maybe you already are into Ethereum, and maybe you're whatever. So there's a sandbox. There's all these different cool like sort of groups of people, and they're all cool, right? There's all these cool things, and honestly, what people don't even realize is in the future, they really will all be even linked, because this inter blockchain communication. It's just a technical feat, and obviously between EOSIO chains, we're all doing it. It's starting right now, and there's already links between EOSIO and Ethereum, and it's only just going to get better and better. Like just like we were talking about earlier with the cell phones, right? Like there's 1.5 billion people that just have a rudimentary cell phone. There's 4 billion people that are underbanked in the planet. They all have a cell phone. Like
Yeah.
it's only a matter of years. It's that adoption curve, right?
yeah,
And it's also
exactly.
Moore's law, so it's technology. So it's like these guys are all going to have a great phone. Well, it's the same thing with inter-blockchain communication. All of this technology will merge, and it will all get better and better and better and
Yeah.
better, and we'll all be literally just seamlessly interacting. Like we'll be on a Wax, we'll be on a Minecraft server sending Wax, and we can buy an Ethereum NFT that's linking through this whole other chain that's coming back through this and on this server and in this NFT store that's on Minecraft that's bought from some NFT shop on in a shop on an Ethereum metaverse, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like all of this stuff will be seamless in a decade. You know, we're just so early. It seems so clunky to us, and it seems so like fractal. But it's all
in
it's
20
all
years. In 20 years, we're going to be looking back at these games with the same nostalgia that I'm looking back at like Super Nintendo and N64. You know what I mean? We'd be like, I remember being part of the community, and look how much they've evolved. I can't imagine in 20 years where the blockchain gaming space is going to be. It's going to be unrecognizable.
It's so true, man. I mean, dude, you think when we were kids, there was no such thing as like professional gamer.
Oh my god,
like,
dude! Even professional YouTuber. Like when I was a kid.
Well, there was no YouTube. When I was a kid, there was no YouTube.
Now there's these kids out of kindergarten that want to be YouTubers when they grow up.
Oh yeah,
like, just think of how
sure.
think of what that means. Like it's crazy how much things are changing.
I have a quick. Go ahead, Shawn.
Sorry, man. Short attention span. I might forget if I don't get it out. So, Bonz, what made you guys choose Wax as a blockchain to build this off of? Like, what do you think makes Wax a superior blockchain for blockchain?
Well, kind of like I said earlier, right? Like USIO was a choice for us so long ago because really as all the DPoS chains go, it was ready to go. It was I mean, really compare it to what other chain could it really have been on? Like we launched on EOS, right? Prospectors years ago, and then also realized at the same time that yes, EOSIO tech is amazing, and the same tech will work on any EOSIO chain. We realized that Wax was cheap. At the time, EOS public blockchain was actually a little bit more expensive to build on. Like RAM was more expensive. It's just like EOS was just resources were more expensive basically.
Yeah.
So and Wax is also very like Wax is an obvious choice because they're obviously right from the beginning focused on NFTs, and we naturally NFTs in gaming was a natural fit for us. So we were actually one of the first major dApps to launch on Wax. Like Prospectors really was one of the early dApps on Wax. There wasn't much happening on Wax except for maybe 𝗀𝗏𝗃, the 𝗀𝗏𝗃 game, and maybe a few small other games, but there really wasn't a lot of games, and there really wasn't. There was only the simple asset standard. There was no such thing as Atomic Hub. There was no such thing as Atomic Asset Standard, right? There was no NFTs even. There was really no NFTs to speak of even on Wax.
And now we just celebrated this week the 1-year anniversary of Atomic Hub. Over 37 million NFTs have been minted on that platform, on that dApp now. Like
insane,
crazy. We're actually launching. Well, today we're going to be dropping our interview with Jonah from Atomic Hub on our YouTube channel, guys. So that will be coming out today for sure. That was a really good interview we did with him, and we were talking about our planet a little bit with Jonah as well. I have a question for you, Bonz. When are we going to see more projects stakeable, or are we going to be able to see more projects stakeable in the near future?
Yeah, we are, of course. There's this whole aspect of like the community being able to vote in projects. Just last week on the AMA, we actually announced that one of the some of the promo, we got the guys that are doing the promo art plan. They're actually guys that are from our Discord. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 basically manage the community Discord, and they've been doing like they promote the fan art NFTs, and they kind of launched some of their own NFTs a little bit. So we're actually going to give them like what we're calling a community pool, and we're still figuring out how all the community pools are going to work. But yeah, there's going to be more projects staked. But I think, of course, as of recently too, especially people are people are already like obviously there's a lot of ether being spit out right now, right, and not a lot of inventions, right? So the focus for us is just keep moving the game forward. Let the community keep inventing NFTs, keep inventing the elements, and the staking pools is obviously part of the future plans because as people know, we are coming up with a governance token, which is going to be awarded for people who provide liquidity to the fungible token swap pools, right? So just like in Ethereum DeFi, you have you provide liquidity, you can earn these like governance tokens from these various platforms. We're gonna have the similar thing, but for the fungible tokens on Wax. So we'll be trading, anything from, anything that people want to create a fungible token pool for, essentially, just like on 𝗪𝗀𝗁, you can basically create any pool to any other pool, and people can provide liquidity to that pool, and then people can be rewarded for that. So the reward that we're going to be giving away is this new governance token, which of course will have a value because it's valuable to be able to hold governance power over our planet platform. And yeah, people will be able to essentially at that point use community, the power of the community to vote in new projects that will be stakeable.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
So love to open it up to anyone on the call who might have a question for Bonz. Anyone have anything they want to know about our planet? Well, we got him on the call here.
Two very important questions, Bonz. I'd like to know, what does the R stand for?
Sure.
We're really getting down to the serious
That's fair.
stuff.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Go ahead. And what's the other question?
Well, I'd like to answer the first one so I can know what the second.
Oh, okay. So check it out. So no, it's a totally good question. We were just talking about this the other day too. It actually came up in the live stream even again. So some of the early literature that we wrote was referring to the R planet, and actually R was short for red, so it was like supposed to be the red planet, right? And so there was thought early on that maybe this was like the red planet, like as in Mars, right? And so early on it was like confusing. People were like, "Whoa, is it the red planet? Is it a Mars mission, right?" And so early on there was actually some things in writing that actually went out that did say Mars, and there was things that said red planet, and then we kind of decided early on, our team was like, well, we weren't actually trying to refer to Mars, so we weren't actually trying to call it the red planet. We weren't necessarily referring to Mars, we were just calling it red planet as any generic like red planet. So we kind of started branding the R planet as being its own like not necessarily meant to be Mars, like so we kind of just started calling it our planet. It is our planet, as in #OUR our planet, right? And so the R as a brand really is this powerful thing that we're actually really developing, because we really realized that like this our thing, which is this community, is the most important part. And so it has nothing to do really with red or red planet or Mars specifically. It really is just like a brand in of itself as the R planet.
So nothing to do with pirates then?
Oh no, it wasn't like our planet, our planet, matey.
All right. Well, I guess my follow-up question was, does that play into your plot? But I guess kind of more specifically or more directed, moving forward, I can only assume you guys have a plan for your narrative moving forward. Is the gameplay going to be diegetic according to the narrative, or are you just going to have narrative that comes along with gameplay you unveil?
No, it's a good question. We've had this lore the whole time, right? And we've had this story, the whole promo from the original, which is actually still on our YouTube. You can see it's like we had this planet, these animals, and they were escaping Earth because they're all being persecuted and chipped and tested in labs and abused basically, and they were escaping, right? So it was the story of freedom. It was sort of representative of being the lab rats, or being the persecuted, or the whatever, escaping this sort of trap that is Earth, and creating a new world, right? So there's some symbology there, but there was also some fun. We kept, it's really just kept meant to be light. It's not some super serious thing. We're not trying to make a political statement or anything, but it is
ambitious
just
animals, man. Like,
yeah, it's just this funny story where we used animals, right? Kind of like the classic Animal Farm, right? Where you had the pigs that were taking over, except for in this case the pigs are the good guys, right? Captain Pig is actually the good guy. So the lore is that they get to Mars, but the plan has always been that this game was evolving, and like I said at the beginning, like these fungible tokens are going to be the basis of building this base. The game was always meant to turn into this sort of land-based battle game on this new planet, right? So we're developing this planet where we're creating these bases, and we got to create our robot armies, and there's going to be these droid wars that's gonna ensue, and that's all been communicated. That's all been part of our lore, and so of course the lore will expand. But yeah, the current lore gets us to what's going to be the third phase, which is still 2 phases from now. We still have this whole phase of the game where we're going to be, developing our lands and upgrading them, using the fungible tokens, using the Aether we're generating to create more fungible tokens to be able to keep upgrading our land, and in all of that, we're going to be building robots. And so then the next phase of the game is really going to be fighting these robots. And where the lore will really go as far as the animals and this whole aspect of developing the planet, the story will continue. It's an ongoing story. It's kind of unfolding as it's developing. Once we're really, there's only so much known right now because it's kind of real time. It's kind of this story where these pigs and the chipped animals, they're all there like in real time, hearing the community, hearing that, we need to keep the inventions moving along because things aren't being invented. So now there's these hints, and there's this sort of fluid development happening as we're moving to the next phase, which is what we've actually been developing the whole time, which is the real game, which is sort of this turn-based mathematics game of battling robots, which is really the third phase of the game, and where the real game starts.
Looking at
So far,
phase
it's been
1 on the roadmap, the next thing coming down the pipeline is FT super secret.
Well, did you see the new roadmap that just came out today? We literally updated the roadmap today.
Yeah.
So we just put that out today. So because people are really like sort of really like sort of everyone wanted this update, right? So we showed the robots, we showed everyone like, look, all these droids, this is all the next phase, here's where we're at. People wanted a really specific sort of like dates, so we broke it down to like, here's what exactly we're working on. We are it's funny because I see this narrative being spun by some of these other projects, and they're like, we're going to be transparent, we're going to tell you what's going on, and then in the meantime some of their roadmaps say shooting for the end of the year. It's like we're not putting specific dates on a roadmap. We're telling you what we're doing. We already have a game launched. We're not bullshitting people here. We're not selling a white paper and raising money. We posted up we had a game before we ever made $1. And so having said that, the updates that everyone's been asking for, we just published today. We gave very specific dates and exactly what we're doing on very specific dates, which is more than pretty much any other project. I can't even think of another project in Wax where I can go see the next 4 weeks and see exactly what their developers are doing, like step by step for those 4 weeks. Like,
yeah, that's
so
awesome.
So as of next week, we're going to be getting an update. There's going to be some small user UI changes. We basically went through week by week and said what we're doing for the next 4 weeks, and then of course went all the way up to Q3 2021, which is this fall. We're going to be launching the robots, and that's where you're going to actually start creating your robot armies. And as of Q4 2021, which is where we're actually launching the Conquest game, which is phase 3, where we'll actually be battling those robots. So we have a very clear, defined roadmap. Unlike almost every other, there's a lot of new projects coming along. Some of them are now basically really copying a lot of the things that we did right, and so that's great because that's how iteration happens. People take what you did, that's good, and they try to build on it, and that's awesome. We love to see that. Shout out to my boys at Green Rabbit. They're building a cool project. They say they're building a game. I'll be excited to see it actually come together. I can't wait to play it. I'll be supporting their project. I know there's a couple other them as well that are staking projects that are gonna have a game involved. So yeah, I can't wait to play other blockchain games. I can't wait to see how people take what we did and iterate upon that. And of course, we'll be continuing to develop the things that we've already said we were developing, and which are only now a few months away from launching the full main part of this game, which of course, once we're actually battling robots and the real game starts, people are going to look back on these days when minerals had no value, the same way that they look back on Aether when we first launched the token and we had no game. people had no idea what to value it at. People didn't know that there was going to be a game. Some people didn't have faith at all and didn't even trust wanting to stake their NFTs. You know, as you can see, we obviously have years of game development in this space and years worth of reputation. So people saw that we delivered on what we said we were going to deliver. I would just say that for all these other projects and any other project, any that you hear about, you know, pay attention to see if they deliver on what they say they're going to deliver on, and pay attention to their roadmap and see what they're actually delivering, and see what they say that they're going to deliver, and we can all look forward together to seeing this whole space grow.
Yeah,
I have a
excited
quick
for it.
question, if it's cool.
Yeah, sure. What's up, Jason?
Hey,
F1
just
questions.
big Our Planet guy here. I actually got some of my buddies who didn't have wax accounts to make wax accounts because of Our Planet. One of my
Nice.
buddies was a big real estate investor, saw Our Planet as like, this is like art real estate, but I don't have to do repairs and send my guys there every year. So he was like, could I just go buy more packs, or how does that work? And can I just give you the money and can you do it? How does this work? And so I got him set up on that, and then everything kind of dropped. And but that's besides the point. But I was gonna ask you if there's any. I've heard a lot of people talk about Ether being like, listed on like other exchanges. I know you guys are working on a marketplace of your own, but is there any conversation about secondary listings of Ether?
Nothing that's been said publicly, man. There's really no immediate
Okay.
I could say that I think publicly
Just
people
buy
know
as
that.
much.
Wait, I didn't catch that.
That's
What's that?
something you guys are interested in.
No, I mean, you know what? To be honest, I think other chains have, there's only a couple players basically on the block, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's not even that many chains that you could actually launch our game on, right? There's only a few, and I'll just say, I think everyone knows by now, whether it's public information maybe or not, but yeah, of course, people have reached out to us. There's a lot of interest in what we've done and what we're actually doing in the other games that we're actually developing too. There's a lot of things in the works and a lot of things still coming down the pipeline. So I would just say, there's a lot of opportunity coming, and basically, all I can say is that, like we're growing. Obviously, we're doing the right things. So there's obviously a lot of people paying attention to that. So yeah, I would say, I would say we have a good chance.
Buy Ether, play the game, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It really frustrates me when people say stuff like, "Oh, Ether's crashed, it's over." It's like
R.I.P. No, our planet R.I.P. R.I.P.
Yeah, like
the game is dead.
I just see that you can buy
I'm not
elements
dumping my
only-
Ether, but I know people
just play the game.
that do,
I mean, people. Well, yeah. I mean, and of course, sure, sell some ether. Yeah, like, dude, that's part of the whole game. That's part of the game. It's fun. It's like, sure, sell some ether, like, because that's all part of the strategy. Because yeah, maybe you're thinking, if you're thinking shorter term, or you're thinking of prop. Like, there's no. What do they say about taking a profit? Right? There's never a bad time to. So if you're taking profit, hey, good for you, right? Like, that's all part of the strategy. Because then like. Maybe later that ether could have been worth more profit, or maybe later you wanted that ether to craft an NFT.
So many ways.
It's just right. There's so many strategies. There's no right or wrong thing. Everyone's free to do what they want. It's all about
my go-to has always been to when Ether's at new all-time highs, I'm converting it to wax, holding onto the wax, and then buying elements and rigs off of people with paper hands once Ether goes back down, and then letting it go back up again, taking more money, saving it, and then buying more rigs with it.
Fuck yeah.
I'm over 110K.
I'm not
Ether
selling
staking
anything.
for about $5,000 US.
Go.
Wow.
This is not financial advice. This is not financial advice.
Absolutely not. Yeah, none of this is financial advice. But
Not financial advice, but TC, what should we be doing right now?
You should no, seriously, you should just be playing the game. Just take that Aether you got for take that Aether you got for free and literally craft some NFTs. Like be paying attention, check in on the game every now and again. See if something's getting made. If something gets discovered, try to craft some NFTs. That's always been what we've said to people. Hey, you know, like just collect the NFTs that you're already going to collect anyway, and then stake them and get some Aether, and then use it to play the game.
Trying,
and then think about it, because it's like, you know, we've all saw what happened with Alien Worlds. We all saw what happened with these lands in Ethereum. There's a reason why all these Ethereum dudes like buy 500K CryptoPunks and 𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗍𝗁 and whatever they're called, right? There's a reason why. It's because they were all in Ethereum when Ethereum was like $10.
Yeah.
And you're like Ethereum, you used to be able to mine like 2 Ethereum per day, like with your gaming computer. So all these guys have like a few thousand Ethereum, and they're like, oh, whatever, like I care, right? And it's kind of like us spending like $1,000 on, you know, spending a couple $100 on our planet shit, right? Like we're all just like playing around, right? But in a couple of years, when all this when wax is worth like a few dollars, and we all have a bunch of loot, and we all have all this land that we've been sitting on, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? Like the shit just has to play out, right? Like look at all these Ethereum dudes. They all just stuck around. They were around in 2013, 14, 15, 16. They all were buying CryptoKitties for 6 figures because it was like 100 Ethereum. That cost me $100 a couple of years ago. It's like it literally doesn't matter. And so that's going to be us.
This
like,
is a room of future whales.
Dude, everybody who's in crypto right now is going to be a whale to the people in 10 years that were like, oh my God, you guys are lucky you were in crypto so early. And it's like, no, dude, I was getting wrecked on shit coins, like and trading all this shit and getting liquidated and playing around with DeFi and doing all this shit. We were like on the forefront of getting wrecked.
Yeah, unless you got bit connected, you don't have OG status. I know.
But for real,
Bruno
Bruno
has had his hand up for a while. Do you have a question you wanted to ask Bonz, Bruno?
Okay.
Which Bruno?
Yeah.
There's a few.
Oh,
Too many.
This one.
Oh.
Hey, so I about 3-4 months or however long ago, I tried playing our planet, used a generator twice, got nothing, couldn't really find a good how-to. You know, like
totally,
the first
man.
starter. Like, do you have
I'm sorry,
something like
bro.
that? Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Dude, no, we do. We literally have but dude, you hit the nail right at the head. Dude, I failed you, bro. Like me personally, I personally failed you. I actually literally failed you, bro. I literally failed you. I'm sorry. Like, dude, because listen, like I wrote the noob guide. I literally wrote it. It's in the pinned messages. I wrote the noob guide, right? And we were trying to build a bot so that when people joined our Telegram, they would automatically be force-fed this message that said, bro, read the noob guide, right? So there's a noob guide, and the noob guide says exactly what you did, because that's what everybody did when they didn't understand the game, right? So the other point of this is why actually more than I failed you, like our whole team sort of failed, because right early on, I made the point to the devs. I was like, I wrote this noob guide so that people would know. Because so this is the deal. When we wrote the original like Medium articles, we were like, hey, you know, like this first phase of the game is this alchemy game, and you know, it's basically like choose these recipes, and if you're wrong, you don't try again, right? And so the thing was, you know, and it was like, yeah, you're gonna lose your ether, you're gonna try again, but dude, you wouldn't believe, of course, your story is not common. There was a lot of people. I've heard it 1,000 times. People were like, I didn't know what I was doing. I came in, I tried to play the game. I threw shit into the generator. I got the pig. He's telling me, sorry, F off. Yeah. And basically he's like, yeah, sorry, you lost your money. And so that's essentially when ether costs a lot, right? So then people are like,
100%.
dude, then people are like, dude, I was staking for like a week. I tried to make this, I thought I was gonna, pig told me, and then all my ether's gone. And I'm like, dude, you didn't read the noob guide, right? So like, yeah, there's a noob guide. We try to tell people, look, that's part of playing the game, right? Because the generator essentially thinks that you're trying to invent something new. If you throw something in there, you're doing an invention attempt, and invention attempts are sketchy. You can either invent something and you get this awesome reward, or you invent nothing and you lose your ether, right? That's like you're on the edge of playing the game.
People like Van that are going through 6 figures, like over 100 million ether to attempt things and failing, like. I don't know how you're still breathing after that, but I mean, everything's in perspective. I think like
that's exactly right.
There's so many tools out now that people have created to help make the process really easy. You can see things that are outside of the user interface that you guys provide that make it really easy. But at the same time, I almost don't like that. I liked the first round of elements when, you know, I was DMing people trading a recipe for a recipe, and like
that was cool.
They're holding their
you're
best one
OG,
hostage
bro.
and making me give them everything I have. And like in multiple groups, like until I had accumulated all the recipes and I just had a note in my phone of this is what they are, and just make it.
Bro, I did the same thing. You're OG,
Yeah,
you're OG, bro. You're OG. I did the exact. I literally had a saved message in my phone. I would add recipes to it, dude. That's so great just to think about that. We were there. We were there at like the ground zero, right?
It's
but
just
yeah,
like
getting back.
WWFA. Like everything's all shore formed out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, right. Because there was so few things that you could actually do that. Because eventually it got hard because there's multiple things with the same letter. But dude, I was right there with you, man. And dude, so early on, right? So early on, it was like we realized, but then there was this pigwig tool. So I wrote the new guide, told people, look, if you just want to play the game and you're not trying to do the inventing game, just check out the known recipes, wait for something to be found, use the tools that are available. And I gave the link to the pigwig tool, which is like essentially you can look at every recipe of every known element. And it would also show you can sort by remaining NFTs. So if there was, you know, you could just sort by and then look at all the ones that had NFTs available and only craft those ones that still was going to give you an NFT, right? So yeah, there was third-party tools, and we were actually going to just specifically make those exact tools available on the site early on, but we kind of put that off because we were like, yeah, let these guys run these sites. We're all working together. It's kind of cool. Pigwig is, you know, of course, a friend of ours and a friend of the devs. He's done awesome work, and he you know, he provided a great service. And now and it's cool because then you see now there's this whole other site, right, that's basically doing the same thing. So you see like competition. It's kind of cool because we left it open source for a reason. And there was some talk on whether or not we should just take all the functionality of Pigwig's tool and just put it onto our site and then block anybody from using, like we would have been the only site that you were allowed to go to. But there was some thought that that's kind of like against the spirit of like decentralization, right? It's kind of, think of this whole movement, right? Like where we built this thing and we have these you know, this open network where people can basically build on top of, and we thought that's kind of cool. It's kind of in the spirit of crypto. Like if someone wants to build a site and instead of using our generator, they could build this auto generator tool, and then maybe they want to charge for it. Like this guy who just built this new tool at 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏, he's charging, it's like a minuscule amount, but it's just enough to cover his costs. And I wouldn't blame the guy even if he charged a little bit more and actually made a small profit. Like these people actually deserve, like honestly, I was telling Pigwig right from early on, I was like, dude, you should actually just charge a few wax for every craft. And dude, if he had just done that, there's been like millions of crafts that have been done in Pigwig's site, like literally, like, or millions of attempts, I should say. You know, or I don't know if it's actually millions, however many attempts is made. There's been shitloads of attempts through his site. If he had been charging a few wax, he probably would have made like a really nice profit from it. But it's really cool that people are just like taking it upon themselves to build these like community run tools. So we didn't want to block those. We wanted to like let them have that utility. But it actually is something that, you know, and getting back to the original point from bro that I let down, like early on, we should have actually just added something right to the generator. And I said this like right earlier on. I was actually advocating to the devs to just put a warning on the actual page, like ruin the nice UI that we had in this cool like image, and just put a straight warning on the bottom that says, just in case you don't know, if you don't know the recipe you're putting in, that you will lose your ether if this doesn't produce, you know, just to make sure that people really knew. Yeah, so that's kind of been, you know, that's been on our mind since the day we launched. We knew that people had continuously had this problem, and of course it turned some people off from continuing in the game. And some of them came back to the game later after learning about the other tools, and they were like, oh, I was doing it wrong. Now I know how to play the game, and it's fun, and I'm able to create NFTs. So that's sort of been the journey that we're at. But having said all that, we are actually adding some other functionality to the site. I'll leave it at that. But there's things coming. We're going to make sure that that people coming to the site, you know, that it's easy for them to know what they want to do.
You know, with the generator, something easy, you could just have a pop up when you hit the generator, like, and have a never show again if it's your first time. Go to this link, so people don't really have to think. Or even just a small hyperlink, like, is this your first time? So you don't have to mess up the UI, and have it like real discreet, you know, like
that's true.
I would have clicked on something like that, you know?
Yeah. Like, is this your first try? Do you know what you're doing? Are you sure that, do you want to waste this way there? Like, even if it just said like, just letting you know, like, hey, if this isn't, do you know what you're doing? Do you know if this is a known recipe? Are you attempting to discover a new thing? Do you realize that your ether will be gone if this is not a thing? It will get you thinking twice, like all those things sort of like combined into some sort of short, simple like message. But yeah, obviously the idea being is that people will, it should be easy enough and intuitive enough that people already know that at that point. So yeah, admittedly that was a failure that we didn't build that into the initial like UI of the game. But yeah, after that, we of course, I wrote the noob guide specifically to address that. But even still, yeah, there was people who missed that or didn't see the message. And so yeah, still probably to this day there may be new people showing up that create a garbage, It's the most
I'll make a meme for you. The one where it's like the black guy and he's thinking like this. It'll say, "Can't lose your Aether if you don't use the generator."
But we want people to use the generator. That's the thing. It's like it's got to be something like you got to know. It's got to be the one with like the 𝗪𝗏𝗏 like thinking. It's got to be that meme. It's got to be that meme. Like, use the tool. Make sure you know the recipe. Use the tool.
I agree as far as making it easier for new users to learn, how the game works. But at the same time, it's almost like part of the fun is taking a couple losses along the way and figuring out.
That's how you get your battle scars, man.
Because that's part of the like what makes it a game, I think, is that you first of all, I mean, you're giving them the Aether and they're not losing anything. So when it's your own currency, I think you have the liberty to make it a bit of a grind to figure things out.
But coming from like a new user perspective, I see the price of Ether going up and I can just go sell it. Or I could, keep losing it and have no clue what's going on. If I knew those battle scars were coming, then I'd be, willing to take them or not. But like, if I would have taken a third or fourth shot, but I just quit right away because I was like, I'm losing wax.
Yeah, and a lot of people did because they were like, as soon as they got those couple messages, they're like, oh wait, I just lost my Ether. Well, wait, this isn't fun, right? And then you're like, wait, I could have got a couple bucks if I just sold that. I could have got a couple wax from that Ether. I'll just get that wax. And so then the thing is like, and some people still to this day probably maybe never bothered to like figure it out. And we literally lost players because of that, because probably some of them, if they then realize that, wait, I can guarantee myself to at least get a chance to get that NFT. I can at least come in and create an NFT with that Ether with a known recipe. And that's really what it's about, is knowing that, if you want to create something, basically there's a difference between whether you want to invent, which is like to take a risk, or whether you want to specifically create an element that's a known element, right? Like, because if you want to create something that's a known element, that recipe is on the blockchain. So what's funny is those third-party tools basically took information that's on the blockchain and they assembled it for everyone to make this nice UI where everyone can just log on and see, hey, wait, has this been tried already or not? Or, what is the recipe for this? You can at least see what it is, whether it was an NFT or not. You can at least see what the recipe is. It's a known thing. And when people come in to play the game, at least if they create an FT, at least it's usable, right? So that's kind of funny because it's like for people who are around from the beginning, they remember how at the beginning, if you tried one of each element, you got nothing. You literally got nothing. You got the pig. Whereas now, if you try one of each element, you get the garbage. So it used to be what bro said. Hey, I came in and I put a bunch of things in the generator and I got nothing, and now I lost my Ether. What the hell? What the hell just happened? And then there was like that went on for a couple of months, and then there was like, and then we came out with the new elements, and then for the next few months it was, hey, I just got this garbage, but how come I can't stake it?
Yeah,
so then
Bruno, just come back, bro. He came just on the show to apologize to you, bro, just so you'd come back to the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to say something. I know I see on the chat room that Bonz, man, you're taking a lot of bidding from a lot of people. I think they're not really grateful to you. I think you're doing an amazing job. But what I wanted to say is that you recently provided new tricks. I think it was like a new hints since yesterday.
Yes.
And I just looked right now in the past, since the beginning of the podcast, there was 3 new elements discovered. So they're probably gone by now. But at least it seems like what you've done, is accelerating the game or making it more exciting.
Yeah.
Because when you cannot play, cannot craft, it's kind of harder. So I just wanted to point that out. You know?
Absolutely, man. Well, first, thanks, bro. I appreciate you saying that. And then second, yeah, it really appears that these hints, it's funny because we talked for weeks about hints, right? Everyone's really excited about hints. Then this morning, the first hint dropped. And of course, literally just, it's kind of typical at this point. We kind of expect it. People are like, that's not a hint. That was obvious. Everyone knew that everyone knew that crude was less than 2 million, But no, exactly like you said, people, of course, then we gave out the second hint. People found crude. And then once crude was found, plastic was found. And then once plastic was found, now I think just while we were on the call, just now I saw a message pop up. Drum was now found, just like 5 minutes, like just a couple minutes ago.
Right.
But I'm not even on.
Scissors,
I can't even.
Scissors, plastic, and crude.
Scissors! Oh my goodness! Scissors.
Just in the past hour, which I think is, exactly what was needed.
Does rock beat scissors?
There you go.
Bonz, I don't know if you have any numbers, but there are probably a lot of people like me, maybe reaching out to people who got burned specifically. It might not be a bad idea, because if I wasn't on this call right now, I'd probably never come back, just for the reason,
Oh man.
Well,
Wow.
Because it's
good to hear.
But because I know there's uplift with their game, and I know there's more coming out. So I think there's a lot of people that would be like that. I don't know if you have numbers, but if it's worth kind of going after those communities and just put that out there.
Well, I mean, I actually have I think a good question. So Bonz, for people that are maybe getting into Our Planet brand new today, they've just heard about it. Where should they start? What do you think their strategy should be with the game?
That's honestly a really good question. And I think that, the answer has kind of always been the same. It's collect NFT, just like with anything, if you want to take part in the game, right? The game requires ether, right? So there's 2 ways to get ether. You can stake NFTs or you can buy it from the market. It's as simple as that. So it's and you can look at the chart and you can see, well, is ether on the bottom or is ether at the top? So is it a good time to buy, or maybe is it not a good time to buy? That's totally up to you, and that's totally, not investment advice. The better way to get it, of course, to me, rather than buying anytime, whether it's cheap or expensive, because that's all relative anyway, is to just stake the NFTs that you already have that you like. So get into NFT collecting is really what I tell people.
I tell people this all the time, man. I was buying NFTs before Our Planet existed.
Yeah,
and I was buying them
because
I wanted to see these NFTs in my wallet in 10
years.
My God. And then I just got lucky. I was holding a shitload of R2 collectibles and 𝗀𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗃 and ended up, getting a pretty good Aether per hour reward from it. But a lot of people that are getting into NFTs now just for staking, just for passive income, it's you need to still have that collectability. You need to still, don't be just buying NFTs that are going to be the number one staking ones. Find something that you're interested in, that you're going to be passionate enough to want to continue to look at and continue to do research in. Same reason I don't invest in Ripple, because I wouldn't want to research that shitcoin every day. I want to invest in cryptos that I actually am interested in.
That is so wrecked.
So wrecked.
I lost my shirt on this one.
Hey, Bonz, I have a question for you about some of the new stuff you introduced on the roadmap. So really, it seems like you're looking to even the playing field on some of those topics that were just brought up, basically making some elements more accessible for less Aether, and then pools and being able to, I guess, team up. Maybe I misinterpreted that news, but basically the ability to kind of be able to make money or be able to craft elements on all planes, as opposed to just these one big things. Did I understand those updates correctly? Or maybe you want to jump into some of that, or?
Yeah.
Was that part of the update? Did I read that right?
Yeah. So I was having a hard time I guess I'm not quite understanding. So the one thing maybe you're referencing, so with the update, are you talking about the hints? The hint update?
It could be
the update about the hints?
About pulling, kind of working together. It seemed like there was an aspect of being able to, I don't know, about being able to have a better shot at crafting by pulling together. And I mean, it's part of the hints, but maybe it's just part of the general explanation of the document. It was about today's release, that's all.
So yeah, so let me just look at the roadmap. So if I can go through. So the one was saying the one update was specifically going to have some the one said maybe you're thinking, okay, so I'll just go through all of them just to make sure
Cool.
I'm
Yeah, why
answering
not?
correctly. So the next update, which is actually next week, is going to be a small improvements for the user experience. So there's some small UI updates, and and then it said it will save some time for investors. That's actually just like a small. That's not kind of like what I was talking about earlier. That's more like this is just going to be a small thing. What's actually happening? One of the things that's going to happen is the actual discover button. Like you have to like put everything in the generator. It's a deferred action on the blockchain. You're actually doing, you have to approve, you're basically taking the 4 things that you want, you put them in there, and then you have to hit another button again. It's like to generate. So that's actually going to be streamlined. We're going to bundle that into one transaction. It's going to make it more efficient, just basically all around resource speaking. And so but there is also another update coming, and I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, because I kind of alluded to that earlier. But so as far as pools, the one thing I talked about earlier too about the pools was about like the staking pools and how the community will be able to maybe vote on the staking pools. But as far as the actual update for today, which were the updates for the roadmap, we had that one that I just said. The next one is going to be actually about like robots. And then the next one is about user interface, which is about increasing your land. So that's going to be the one where we're actually going live with the update where you'll actually be able to update your upgrade your lands using the fungible tokens. And then on the 28th is the actual launch of that, where where actually the update will be live. And then Q3 launch of updates, in Q4 is the launch of the actual battle game. So and I know there's some like what I thought you were almost describing was like some of these pools that people are doing where there's some like third-party people, and I honestly don't really know too much about it because we try to actually keep it out of our chat. Like we actually don't even really let them advertise in our chat, because
I see.
Honestly, we don't know. There's no way for us to know. Honestly, I don't think anybody's scamming anybody, but because we can't endorse what any of these people are doing. There's like literally one dude, he made this whole thing where you can just literally like, and then another dude actually launched NFTs and you have to buy it. That one is a little more like, I'm reluctant to even, I don't even want to tell you about it, because so anyway, so the first one though, like they seem legit, right? Like it's basically like, just because think about it, like you and your friends could do the same thing.
Right.
So here's the bottom line. It involves trust. Right? Like anyone who trusts each other could pool their Aether per hour, and you could you could link up with 5 of your 20K per hour friends, and you'd have 100K per hour. And then, you could leverage that friendship and that network,
Sure.
right? So that's just kind of like a whole separate thing. There are some people that are doing some pooling things, but that's sort of separate from what, like our actual staking pools.
Maybe I misunderstood like something like group crafting, and maybe that's what I
had
okay.
So so with the group crafting, so there's a couple different things, right? There, and that's fun too. That's another thing where people are just getting together, right? But it's kind of cool because you have these like decentralized groups of people. Like, so if you go on the Discord, there's these like live people are just doing these like crafting like parties, right? So then also the Discord guys themselves are actually hosting a Twitch stream. So then maybe this is what you saw and you were thinking of. So like these guys are doing this whole cool sort of community-based thing where they have like 100 million Ether. They've been doing this like every day or every other day. They've done it a whole bunch of times. They take 100 million Ether. Everyone who logs on gets to make guesses. And they'll take your guess, and if your guess is actually the right one, they'll give you the mythic. They'll give you that inventor prize. They'll send it to you. But they do it as a big group, like a party. But of course, they kind of have their own little thing going. So in order to actually be able to be allowed to be in on it, you have to buy those promo 𝗪𝗀𝗀 NFTs. And again, those guys are literally community based. That whole Discord isn't even like, they're not employees. They don't work for Weekend at all. They just are a group of dudes that took it upon themselves to start the Discord. They grew it. They're doing a great job. Blessings to them. They do this great community inventing parties. It's been super fun. I've joined a couple of them and watch. And basically what they're doing is they just kind of have like a little thing going where they're saying, hey, we'll put up all of our Ether into a pool, and we'll do this fun sort of community building method of like, everyone could join, and just, you don't have to bring any Ether. You can just bring your guess. So they're basically putting up 1 million ether for you to take a guess, which is fun because if you get it, you're going to get the mythic without having to put up that 1 million ether. Not everyone has 1 million ether to blow, right? But the reason why they have that 1 million ether to blow is because they actually sold these NFTs. They've done a couple different NFT sales, and that's fine. They're allowed to do that. They did some fan art ones. They did some where they used our IP, and that's maybe a little bit
questionable.
Yeah, that's in fact that's like actually
maybe the scheme in
I need to have a
collection
talk with them,
name.
actually.
The promo
Yeah,
Our Planet is a
so I know. So I had to approve that. The Atomic guys actually asked me if they could be whitelisted because they got blacklisted. They were blacklisted, and I actually gave permission for them to be whitelisted.
Oh, that's sweet.
And then the devs actually came to me and they were like, "Yo, what's up with these guys? Like, this is bullshit." And I was like, or they were basically just concerned, like, "Hey, people are gonna." And I was like, well, I gave them permission as long as they said that they weren't going to be stakeable until the, so yeah, it's created a, these guys took it upon themselves. They took a little bit of extra, like, they took it upon themselves to take the initiative to make some cool stuff, but God bless them because they're growing community and they're doing the right thing. But having said that, so that's one of the inventing parties going on. Like, there's also just regular people in the Discord. Like, you could go in there and just start a voice chat, right? And then just share your screen. And like this one dude, 𝗀𝗏𝗆, right? He's been hosting these parties where he just has a really good spreadsheet worked out where he could just where a bunch of people all say, look, I think Crude has A, B, C, and D. And then they put or A, B, C, D, E, and F, right? And they put all those in a spreadsheet, and it literally showed every single possible combination of every one of those elements. And there was like thousands of them, right? And then he had it so that you could automatically filter out everyone that's already been tried. So it's like he has this now spreadsheet where it's like, these are the tries, right? These are like every logical try you could possibly do. And then people were just basically, taking turns on the call, like, okay, what's your favorite one of this whole list? And people would look and they'd be like, I think this one's my choice. And then then the group would do that.
I guess I imagine like this guild of like crafting, like multiplayer crafting, where like basically if you're putting up Aether and you team up to craft or fight together or whatever this is, right? Then you can even out sort of like if we all win or we all, kind of beat the game together, then we kind of, instead of taking a loss of 0 on the crafting, now we won one. So it's split up multiplayer and it makes sense to have like a dope team,
One of the best stories I heard, these guys, they're around, they're in the community. Like, I've seen, I think they're on Twitter. They're part of the, you guys probably know them, they're part of the Discords and they're on Telegram and everything. The guys, they made this whole story about it because it was so epic, right? These dudes did basically exactly what you're describing. They all weren't very high, like Aether per hour providers, right? And it was when, you guys remember when money, I don't know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but when money first got discovered, it's like this like 50 million Aether thing. It was ridiculous. It was out of the realm of possibility for like almost all players, right? These group of dudes, this like band of brothers came together and they're like, I got 100,000 Ether per hour, I got this, they all like basically saved up all their Ether and they put it in this pool together and they saved up for one money NFT. These guys opened the mythic money, this group, the one shot, they came together, they put their money in a pool, they got this NFT and they opened like the mother, like they cashed in on like the lottery of NFTs, right? Like that money mythic, I don't even know what it pays. It's absurd. It's like
5,000. 165,000.
I mean, I don't know what that works out to, like dollars per hour or like dollars per year, but like the reality is it's like more than like I make per year doing my like real life job, right? Like that one NFT is like literally like a manual labor, like a person sweating balls, like doing work like all year long. That's what it's worth. So it's like such a great story. Like these dudes came together and like made this happen, right? And so that's kind of along the lines of what you're talking about. And then the funny thing is like, I actually went down this rabbit hole with that dude, with one of the dudes that started that, right? Because like, so check it out. One of the dudes that started this exact kind of pool, like exactly what we're talking about, right? He came in our chat, he's advertising, he's like, yo, I'm opening up a pool, basically opening it to the public and saying like, hey, put in your Ether into this pool and we're going to craft shit and then we're going to split all the stuff. And I was like, whoa, like you can't, I don't know if you could be advertising that. Even though if your intentions are totally honest, you're obviously you're asking all these people to trust the centralized authority. And now you're coming in our chat and advertising that. Like, I don't know if I can condone that, but I have no doubt that your intentions are totally pure, and you probably have the ability to run this like a real business and take in people's money and then redivide everyone's money. But of course, all those people have to be totally trusting that centralized authority. So then the guy said, well, we have this whole plan, and we're going to automate this whole thing. And of course, blockchain can make that happen, right? So I, of course, was like, wait, are you really building this or not? Because I know what's involved to build that, you know? So I went down this rabbit hole, and I actually talked to my friends that know how to build these actual smart contracts. And I spent hours figuring this out. What if you created this contract that anybody could just send? I'll just send 1,000 ether an hour to this contract, or any amount. I could just send one lump sum to $1 million. I'm now in this contract. This contract is now automatically taking that ether, crafting NFTs, opening that NFT pack, restaking that NFT, taking that ether per hour and dividing it equally depending on how much you put into the pool, right? That can all be done. But if you think about how many steps, like what I just described is ridiculously hard to actually build in real life, right? It takes like a lot of people, like 6 months of like, because there's all these levels to that, like, because every single step of that is this whole automated thing with it like, basically it's really hard. Like it's over most people's even head of what needs to happen. But of course it's possible, right? It's totally possible with blockchain. You could automate that entire thing, every single step of that. And then you could build this super sick UI where anyone in the world could just be like, hey, I'll just send some ether into this contract and it's just going to spit me out more ether. It's just like you could just basically send an ether to a contract and have that contract just pay you back ether, right? Like, and then in a way, that's kind of what we're in a way though. The thing is like, in a way, you're doing this huge, you're building this huge thing just to get back to square one, because all you have to do is stake NFTs and you get ether for free anyway.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But I get being part, because the whole thing with being part of a pool is, when that pool hits that mythic, everyone gets that boost and everyone's making bank. But it's actually
what
really
I was
hard to
thinking
build.
is like people who probably don't have as much, like, you know how, like when you play a video game, you're always going to have like expert level people who want to beast out, who want to like take the highest risk. And then you got some people who are like, oh, I don't really know how this game works, but maybe I could like lose, but then I'll like gain like 5% or something, but then I'm safe, and we use a governance token to like group vote how to craft or something, where like all of us together decide on what the next turn by turn move is, and then we can kind of observe.
And what you're describing, like coming from someone who's built a DAC, like I was part of the bigger DAC, right? We a group of dudes from all over the planet just came together and started and joined this DAC. And it's almost like our planet. It's just that we started, we created this token out of thin air, and then we created this staking, or like this mechanism by which it's a DAC. So you have to be voted in, and if you're voted in and you're trusted, you actually get these tokens. And it was all by the trust was to get voted in was all by how much work you were doing, and so it was just basically this faucet that was by proof of delegation, based on you getting voted in. So it's just a true DAC. Like we formed this DAC from volunteers. Anyone in the whole world had the opportunity to join this DAC. And by joining the DAC, you'd be just spit out some tokens. And of course, these tokens had no value, just like Aether had no value before the game was launched. It was totally speculative. But some people did, but then eventually that token was listed, and some people did speculate on that token based on the fact that, hey, I have faith that these guys are actually going to build this entire DeFi protocol. And me and this group of dudes developed this entire bank in cyberspace, this savings and loan that doesn't exist, has no brick and mortar, no one's in charge. There was millions of dollars in an account. I was one of the multi-sigs, but there was 21 other people that I didn't know, and we all had to trust each other, and no one could collude to screw anybody over. Everyone knew that their money is safe because all of these people were in an elected position. We all have our face on this DApp, and everyone knows that we're trusted to secure this 21-person multi-sig. So we all protected, and I could go on there right now today and log on to 𝗪𝗏𝗹.ai and deposit some EOS or some PBTC or whatever, and just grant myself a loan without anyone's permission. And without, and in 1 second, I can just go give myself a loan, right? Or I can go in there and just deposit some money and start earning interest from other people taking those loans, right? So we just created a basic DeFi app, like a borrow and loan app, right? But it was built completely by the community. It was built completely trustless, all with smart contracts, all with DAC software that's basically open source. So getting back to your original thing, I love your idea. And what's so amazing about fucking blockchain is that you could fucking build that. Like if you cared, you could just be like, dude, I have this idea. This is just start drawing it out, and then you just start finding people that care about it like you do, and then go talk to Michael Yates because he knows about the DAC software, or go to 𝗪𝗪𝗪, or go to and just take some open source DAC software, and then just start. Anyone who wants to join the DAC can do it, and then you can have it all in smart contract. You got to stake this much Aether to be part of the, or how, whatever you want the governance to be, right? You can build it from however you want it to be, and the whole thing can be built around decentralizing some sort of thing where we all benefit from the actions of many, can all come in and be decentralized, and we can basically share in the spoils of this like collective work that we all do, right? And that's now
that's what the vibe's all about on this show, man. That's what the vibe's all about. The Saturday Sesh,
dude,
everyone.
Does it feel good to be a
bring your
genius,
ideas
Bonz?
to the table.
I'm no dude. I'm far from. I'm like
Sure.
I'm one step above from stoner. I'm basically stoner.
Hey, there's some stoner geniuses on this call, dude. Don't.
No doubt.
Some real stoner.
We call ourselves professionals, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
Killing
that.
it, Bonz, dude.
Dude. Hey man, I love all you guys. I had a blast chilling with you guys. This has been like a super lot of fun, and dude, I'll come back and join you guys anytime you want. Like,
fuck yeah.
I love hanging out with you guys. I had it was eerie just to hear all the different stuff and hear all you guys and where you're at, and dude, it was awesome, because to me this is like the community and getting together and tossing out ideas and just like being part of it is like what totally just this does it for me. This is like what I'm here for, you know.
Thank you, man.
I love
honestly,
it.
I appreciate you coming on, dude, and taking time out of your Saturday to come hang out with us and tell us a little bit more about this project that we're all in love with.
Vibes.
Yeah, it's all about the vibes, baby. And hopefully, Bonz, this week we can do a sit-down one-on-one interview together and get some more concrete information out to the community. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man. So any
1-on-2, asshole.
That sounds really intimate.
Aidan can come to a 2-on-1.
Awesome. Hey, I had a blast, you guys. I hope to see you guys around in Telegram and wherever. Hit me up. Definitely give me a shout, and let's all keep in touch, and let's do this again, man.
Rock and roll, bro. I hope you have a great weekend. Feel free to stay on as long as you can. Guys, we're going to bring on Richard, who's
Thank you,
here.
Bonz.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bonz.
All right. So he's here from 𝗀𝗪𝗪𝗀, guys. We mentioned this project a couple weeks ago. They're making steps towards launching their actual drop, and they wanted to come on. They actually have a badass promo NFT. Everybody on the call is going to be getting one. Everybody that has a Just Learn Crypto NFT is going to be getting one of these promos as well. So if you're holding any of our NFTs in your wallet, you'll be getting airdropped this NFT today. And yeah, we're going to basically bring on Richard. Richard, are you on the call?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up, buddy? How are you, man?
Good. It's been a lot of background work getting this done, but we're almost ready to go. We're excited.
Yeah, it's been a long road leading up to the drop for sure. So tell us a little bit about you and your background and what brought you into starting 𝗀𝗪𝗪𝗀 and bringing these NFTs to life.
Well, you know, I'm new to the crypto community, so I'm just learning about all this stuff myself. But you know, primarily my background is in the adult industry. And, you know, I've worked with many models from Girl Next Door to like contracted porn stars. You know, I've worked with Playboy Television at one point, traveled Toronto, Los Angeles, New York.
So living the dream pretty much.
Yeah, basically. And, you know, I also have a film company as content provider.
Okay.
For you know, adult clips, and you know, a big part of it caters to the fetish community, which is a $1 billion industry. You know,
hey, we don't kink shame here at Just Learn Crypto.
we do everything, however, and you know, 𝗀𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗀, you know, some of our primary partners. A lot of people on here know Simon.
Yeah,
and you know, he's our operations VP. He's been the one communicating back and forth with you quite often, and of course, Shawn is our advisor for the NFT and the wax, etc.
Yeah.
You know, myself,
It's been a fun project to work with, I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm doing the content providing, quality control. You know, I work with the models that I know all personally, again, you know, from low scale to top tier, you know, and you know, I know a lot of the other producers, etc. And Sheldon, who's also on this call, and he's doing the management and the you know, the shoots and arranging, etc. So you know, between all of us, we've got our bases covered, and you know, you're kind of like our anchor to this for our, you know, for the NFT side, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, we got some great products coming up. We got some exciting stuff. We're catering primarily to the girl next door kind of market, you know, at this point, but we're going to be scaling as we go.
Yeah, I know that, like, you know, even on the back end, some of the big pictures things are still obviously getting tightened up as many collections come out with an idea, it evolves and it changes. So I know that we are going to be doing a 3 NFT drop in, I think, is it 25 days out now that we're shooting for?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
And you know, we've got 3 tiers. So, you know, there's going to be your you know, your silver, your gold, and your diamond. And you know, so we're doing 1 of 1s, we're doing 1 of 10s, and 1 of 100s. And you know, I've got a lot of very exciting girls waiting to come on board, and just you know, dealing with all these people that are looking to get into the you know, the crypto world as well, you know, and see this as a very valuable. You know, we're going to have special guests on the meeting from time to time, and
yeah, I'm excited. So let's actually, guys, I'm going to share my screen and show the promo NFT that we're going to be giving out today. Really well done. Actually, Dan Sessom, he did the art for it. Are you guys just seeing my screen?
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's the logo that we created for 𝗂𝗪𝗃 NFTs. Just a beautiful little anime thing. And so everybody's going to be getting one of these dropped to their wallets. Guys, go, the website for 𝗂𝗪𝗃 is now live with the countdown for the drop. So if you guys want to get more promos, make sure you go to the website, 𝗂𝗪𝗃.com, put in your email, put in your wax address, because we'll be dropping more and more provocative NFTs out into the wallets as they come out.
Can you pay with the blowjob tokens?
You know, actually, I was talking to him, and
have some.
Yeah, there's got to be a collaboration there somewhere. It's like if 2 NFT crypto collections were ever meant.
Dude, you can pay through Atomic. You can send blowjobs through Atomic. Little known fact. You go to transfer token. If you have blowjobs, you can give them.
Wow.
Way too much information.
And this is why we don't have more women in the space. But for the meantime,
hey, that supports sex workers. Hey, that
no, it's definitely, I love the mission behind BK Token for sure. And you know what? Like, from talking with Richard and talking with the other guys, like the other founders of this company, like, they're all about creating that fair space and a fair opportunity for women that work in the adult industry. Like, Richard's a fellow Canadian, so he's been working with dozens and dozens, probably hundreds of models over his career in the adult industry. And helping them. Yeah. So I mean, I know that's a huge driving force behind 𝗂𝗪𝗃 NFTs, is creating another safe way for women to make money on their own without having to use like third-party resources or go out on the streets or something, you know.
Only wax.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Gotta wax that ass.
You know, not
Yeah,
not only myself, but Sheldon, you know, who's been working with feature entertainers for years, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So between the 2 of us, we make a good background team for this.
Yeah, I know we can't give away too much information because we don't want to give away the wrong information and have things change in the big picture. But the goal is to create a platform eventually where, you know, almost anyone can come and be part of 𝗂𝗪𝗃, like any like woman with a following, almost like they would have to get whitelisted, similar to Atomic Hub, to prove that they actually have a following. They've been working in the industry in another way, and then they can come on and through the resources provided by Richard and Simon and myself, be able to make NFTs quickly, use the templates, use the marketing, and reach out to the community that we're building up right now. So this is all about building up a community that's going to support this project. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this free NFT. I know Dan worked really hard making this 3D rendering, and it turned out beautiful.
So all about empowerment through the strength and beauty of the female form, you know.
Hey guys, does anyone have any questions for Richard or Sheldon or even myself? I have a good handle on the brand as well.
How do you get to 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀?
How do you get to it?
Oh, yeah.
𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀.com.
Yeah, it's not going to let me share.
But can you spell it in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
I tried to Google it, nothing came out. That's fine.
It's the root word casa, mi casa, su casa, CASA, and then boo boo like boo boo bear, Yogi Bear.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, here we go.
Wanted to keep it cute, you know?
Yeah.
No girl's gonna want to sign up to come model for a company called like 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗆 or something.
I tell you, in Miami, we have a lot of this guys.
I had a question. At the Crixel Gallery, I've had photographers approach me that had bondage photography and risque stuff that wasn't necessarily stuff that we could house at the gallery ourselves. How could I send them your way, or would you be interested in hearing from them?
Absolutely, you can give them our contact info. You know, we definitely have that arm of our company. You know, we want to cover all bases. And, you know, I also know a lot of, you know, top tier women in the, you know, in the industry, you know, girls that have hundreds of thousands of millions of followers that are always looking for people to do work with, etc. You know, top tier names. I don't know if you're familiar with the fetish world or not, but, you know, your 𝗀𝗪𝗏𝗀𝗀 and, you know, people like that, you know, that have been in, you know, thousands of videos, you know, etc. I know these people personally, so you know, I can set them up with top tier business as well. You know,
making things. So I gotta laugh because I'm reading the comments. Cameron Walker, you dated one of these girls? You gotta unmute yourself and tell us about
Unbelievable.
That,
Spill the tea. Spill the tea.
You dated one of the OG 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀 girls?
I know Cam too.
Can you guys hear? Can you hear me? Okay, I don't want to yell at you guys.
Oh, got the 𝗧𝗪𝗶 shirt on. What up, 𝗧𝗪𝗶?
What? Hey, Sebastian, what's up, my man?
What up, guys?
Yeah,
That's so right.
Guys, I really like this this 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀.com and the NFTs. It's really beautiful. I really appreciate the art. I'm a connoisseur, to say the least. Like I got a couple of things going on over here. Okay, so a couple of things that don't come down ever. So if anybody ever came to my house, they would see that right there. And people come to my house.
Live proud, bro. Live proud.
Yeah, and I like how you said, you know, no kink shaming. It's a really sensitive subject for a lot of people, but I think it's something that needs to be brought to light. And yeah, actually, I did date one of those girls in like 2008.
Are you gonna buy?
I'm not gonna say which one. Absolutely, I'm gonna collect it. Yeah, she was a super sweet girl, really beautiful girl. I don't want to tell too much about it, but all
right, we got a 1 in 4.
I'm gonna say in San Francisco. Yeah, 1 in 4. You know, based on anything you've ever seen of me. But yeah, in San Francisco, 2008. Yeah, had a good time with that. She's a really good girl.
What a small world, eh?
We know who wants me at one.
Yeah, guys, we got
unbelievable.
I know there's dozens of other girls waiting to get on this site, guys. Like, this is gonna be a big project. So really happy you guys like what you see so far. I hope you guys enjoy the free NFT. That's gonna be going out to everyone. And you should see some of the art that's getting put into these, like the actual like collection that's going to be coming out in 25 days. So it's definitely going to be something collectible that you guys are going to want to get your hands on. And obviously we're going to have Richard back on with some of the girls closer to the drop to promote it on the Saturday sesh. So you guys make sure you're on that show. That'll be a fun one.
And we're going to be doing contests and giveaways and
tons of stuff, auctions,
occasional 𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗀 parties. So get ready for that one.
There's going to be eventually the plan is that there's going to be blendable and burnable NFTs that you can blend it to get more risque ones, right? Because we got to keep it pretty PG 13, I guess, on 𝗃𝗵𝗿𝗆, so that we don't get, we don't want to be putting hardcore porn up on 𝗃𝗵𝗿𝗆, obviously, but so there's not going to be any full nudity on any of the NFTs that you're going to be able to buy direct from the drop, but there's going to be ways to access those and get them in your wallet. So we're still working on the workaround. We don't want to piss off 𝗃𝗵𝗿𝗆.
And also, random collectors for gold and diamond tiers are going to get invitations to some of our 𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗀 parties, and they'll get to meet the girls in person, when we put them together. And it's there's going to be a lot of fun there too.
Sign me up. Awesome, man. Sweet, guys. So we're gonna send those out to everyone. I've got a little giveaway. It was tough getting a hold of R2 this week because he's out on a camping trip with his kids. So I've got a couple R2 NFTs that I'm going to give out from their Monsters of Rap collection, and these are out on a 500 mint run they did, working with one of the new artists. It's one of the gang signs, but it's actually 3D animated, so there's not that many of these MORs out there, and I'm not sure, I don't think it's stakeable, to be honest, because it's not from the actual Monsters of Rap collection. But we got 19. I'm going to take out 2 of us, so if you guys want to pick a number between 1 and 17. Going now, yeah. Oh, Zach Drew got it with 9. Good job, bro. All right, man. So yeah, I'll get that sent out to you guys. We're gonna get everybody sent out the promo NFT. So if everyone can just make sure you put your wax address in the chat right now, so that we make sure we get everybody on this call is going to get one. But like I mentioned as well, if you're holding a Just Learn Crypto NFT, you're going to get one of these promo NFTs. And we might even go through some of the other collections, some of the top supporters of 𝗀𝗵𝗿𝗆, some of the top supporters of digital assets NFTs with blockchain_𝗀𝘀. So if you're supporting the Bromunity, we're going to make sure that you get these NFTs. And like I said, whoever's holding these promo ones from this, these are the first ever 𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗀 NFTs going out. They are more than likely going to give you some rewards in the future just for having this in your wallet. So definitely an early adopter's badge of honor having this in your wallet.
If you haven't purchased any Just Learn Crypto NFTs, what would be a good way to rectify that, Shawn?
Probably by buying some. So there are still, guys, some NFTs available from drops that we've done over the past couple weeks. So yeah, check them out. If you guys feel like picking some of those up, please do. Everything goes to supporting Just Learn Crypto, the crew, the team behind it. So we always appreciate that. And they are any of the JLC NFTs that you're holding in your wallet, they're going to get you early access to things that we're collaborating and doing with other collections coming out.
Is that per template owned, or what are we talking here?
Well, there's different so some of the drops, I don't know if you were on the show last week, Sebastian, but we did a drop for the gold, silver, and diamond NFTs, gotcha, which actually gets you advertising on the Just Learn Crypto website.
Oh, nice utility. I love it.
So yeah, man. So those ones are in the drop list we just threw out there.
I got your first NFT ever, mint 1 through 20.
I know. Man.
I have. I think I got your face, mint 1.
Yeah. How did you?
So I was just wondering,
was that inside information?
No. Well, listen. Hey, I'm fast on the draw, buddy. I mean, you see digital asset everywhere. Check any collection, buddy.
Right.
Shots fired on TC. Right.
So rad.
Hey, TC, man, try to find a Carmelo Anthony for me in a low mint. Go ahead, try to do it for buddy. Love you, bro.
Yeah, we've got two gold coins left, which will get you actual advertising space on the website. And then we've got 35 silvers to get in the credit section, essentially.
Yeah. So
yeah, here I'll separate it out. I just posted all the links to what we have left, but
yeah, we're building out this like beautiful supporters page on the website. So anyone who's buying any of those 3 specific NFTs, the diamond one was already purchased by Ken, but the gold or the silver, if you guys scoop those up, the silver is going to get your name on the website with your Twitter and your Wax address as one of our original supporters of the Just Learn Crypto Academy and the education platform we're building. And then the gold one, yeah, more actual advertising on the site. You can put all your social media links on the supporter page. So there's only going to be how many in total, Aidan, that are going to be on the supporter page?
Yeah, 50.
61.
Yeah,
61.
Well, less because Ken bought one of each and stuff.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And the gold one just sold right now. The gold one just sold.
Well,
bye.
Oh,
thank
you. Transaction successful.
Gentle Prince. Love you, bro. Guys, any other questions for Richard from 𝗂𝗵𝗄𝗏 before we move on to just open forum? I know that I want to talk to Sebastian about his 𝗪𝗲𝗪𝗀𝗀 drop before we get into that though. Any other questions for Richard?
I got a question.
Sure. What's up, bro?
Is there a way to submit art or models?
Absolutely. If you have models, send them on. I'm the main content guy myself. And then, so, first it comes to me, and then, it gets moved on to Sheldon, and we'll contact them definitely, and we can book.
Yeah. If you want, Richard, you can put your email or however you want people to contact you in the chat. But if you'd like, I can always just connect you and Cameron.
I got a question for you. Are you planning, because I bought the R2, a lot of people slept on this drop, but the 𝗪𝗀𝗁𝗀𝗁𝗀, I can't pronounce it correctly, but it's an artist there that R2 represented. It was their first 18 and older drop.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like a month
it.
and a half ago.
And you had to turn on the 18 or older settings. So I'm kind of wondering if that just straight up solves your problem. I mean, if Atomic is allowing that, as long as it defaults with the setting on. I mean, to plug the Kenny thing, Kenny wanted us to do a fully nude Ken, and he wanted us to like blur it, make it 18 and older, and show ball sack. So I mean, it was definitely it was something yet possibly. Now we settled with pee stain underwear, but that being said, I think that the 18 and older thing might be I think that's the solve, dude. I mean, my NFTs from R2 is blurred, and that's kind of dope. Like, it reminds me of like buying a magazine like at the corner store
with the black plastic on it.
You take a little, and you walk out, and so I kind of like that. That's kind of cool.
For sure. So I mean, we're working really close with R2 Collectibles to solve some of those problems. So
yeah, the blurry stuff actually adds a little bit of like mystique. You're like, oh shit, there's something behind there.
Exactly.
Like, I want to unblur it.
And that's where my head's at with the project is like, if you like one of the girls, buy her NFTs, and then you're going to be able to blend those down the road to get the really juicy ones.
There you go. You got to take the cover off. They put that little plastic in the front. You gotta take it, What's up, man?
Wait for your mom to leave before you open your NFT wallet.
That's right. I know. We thought that live streaming was, or like, I guess like YouTube sharing of adult films was like, what obliterated magazines. But now here we are talking about NFTs, the new frontier. They don't go to the corner store. They go to Atomic Hub, and they don't got to show their ID. Maybe that's a problem.
Yeah, we're also selling single cigarettes around back.
Right? It's really the blockchain.
Yeah, welcome to the block.
Have you earned
the
money?
wax is the free shit, so that's
Have you earned money by building in Minecraft? Well, here's how you
we should build like a 𝗂𝗵𝗄𝗏 strip club in the uplift.
Some little brick nudies.
It's in the plan.
Some little dancing voxels.
Yeah.
There are functional paid brothels in Final Fantasy 14.
Oh,
so that's absolutely something we could do for you.
Well, listen, guys, if you want to see that happen, we need support on these early drops. So make sure you guys take part.
Let me join.
Tell us about this 𝗪𝗲𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗪, because I mean, honestly, man, I love it, and I love the idea of having something that people can almost like take a selfie with and
Yes.
promote it with, right? So like walk us through the process it's been to make this and everything and where the idea came from.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like we had a different product. So just to start out, like blockchainblunts.com, and then 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗍𝗃.com. He insisted on the doll. And basically, really what we're doing is kind of like action figures that you can upgrade with the accessories. And when
I'm
we
shooting at everybody.
And so, yeah, not only can you kind of, what's interesting about the AR is that it matches the version of �kenny that you own. So for now, we just launched this �kenny, but what's happening is it's a long-term partnership with Ken, where every week we're going to drop a limited edition accessory that you're going to be able to blend on, and that's going to make that NFT different from another. So when you wear the �kenny pajamas, or you got the bathrobe, or you got the tie, that's what's going to differentiate and make yours rarer than others.
So you can cover up the pee-stained diaper eventually?
That's exactly. We started with and originally he wanted us to do basically, first it was all
it's
naked.
Like people pay for nudes, but with Ken Bozak, it's like you got to pay to
cover it up. But yeah. So for his first request was naked. Then I was like, I tried to talk him down off of it. So then we talked about kind of holding, just kind of dancing and holding over, and someone
who's been strip searched with Ken Bozak by TSA, you made the right choice.
Well, and so here's the thing. I mean, I've seen enough on Twitter that I know what I'm getting. Actually, the visual research of getting his body proportions. I've seen so many butt and naked pictures of Ken it was like part of our shared documents to try to like sit there. And we did so many revisions of the pee underwear and how soaked it should be. And should it like run down the legs? You would be shocked that it's an actual job. But yeah, so what we're doing is really interesting is number one is that we already have another action figure called 𝗪𝗁 on the Digital Acid collection on Atomic Hub or blockchainblunts.com. And what we're doing interesting about the �kenny thing is not only, I mean, if you look at his fashion, Ken has so many different looks, and that's what makes it really awesome. But what we're going to be doing is weekly drops of exclusive items. So if you buy Ken's NFT visor, you can throw it on Ken, or you can throw it on 𝗪𝗁, which is on a different collection, cross-blendable. And so now that means that two audiences are sharing the scarcity of that item. And then of course, like that NFT becomes limited edition because it's got the �kenny hat, and the �kenny hats ran out. So like when we did the skateboards, the stickered up skateboards, we had some of those boards drop for 14, sold for 800, and then they're blended right away, instantly. People are buying something and then burning it, and then it's reflected in the augmented reality.
What's the collection? What's the collection called again?
Digital Acid.
Digital
Acid, like LSD. So
they're all gone.
What's that?
Oh, they're all gone now.
No, the drops are still live. All our drops are live. If you go to blockchainblunts.com or 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗍𝗃.com, it'll take you to our site, and you can see the live drops for both. So we have a skateboard that's blendable. You can add it, and he's holding the skateboard. So what the new thing also that I want to kind of call out here is that we got a bunch of outreach of how to collab with the community. I don't want to name all the names, but let's just really big collections reached out about custom work. And so we're going to be doing collaborations with pretty much everyone in the community. And those blends will be very limited. So when you see a �kenny or a 𝗪𝗁, it's accessible at a base model. And then as you stack items onto it, it gets rarer and more scarce and more scarce. Like some of the shitcoin exclusives sold out in 1 second, and they're going for like 10 grand. And like no one's letting go, and they're getting burned smaller and smaller. So basically we're going to have our main characters, �kenny, 𝗪𝗁. We have another character, 𝗪𝗲𝗃. And when you buy an item, you'll be able to blend it with different characters, but only certain characters will be, because there'll be limited blends that shuts off the max supply. Yeah. So thus you're ruining, by you burning a shirt, there's less shirts.
Yeah.
Right. So now there's not one for Kenny anymore, or there's not one for 𝗪𝗲𝗃 or 𝗪𝗁𝗃. So we're going to do some partnerships. We've already secured a full-time skateboard line with a really cool artist that I can't reveal at this moment. But basically, we're going to be doing weekly drops for Ken on his channel, and then cross-blendable with the digital acid. And so your AR is updated. So when you flex your AR and you take a photo with Kenny, which version of Kenny? Does he got the limited edition hat on? Is he got the tie on? And that's how you flex if you got the $1,000 one or if you got the $1 one. But we were just so excited. Me and 𝗀𝗵𝗿𝘆𝗀𝘆 is my collaborator, and we birthed Kenny together. It took a couple weeks to build, but we've got a whole roadmap of dropping items, and it's going to be so much fun. And we have full 3D AR that's already been tested. I'm looking at tests as of last night. So we're going to do a software update to everyone who owns the Kenny or the 𝗪𝗁𝗃. Their AR is about to get better. So we're doing kind of instant dynamic updates on those QR codes. So yeah, I'm super excited. Love we're going to be, me and the boys here at JLC talking about something here too, as well. So expect some sort of 𝗪𝗁𝗃 and Kenny, collabo stuff. And really, we're so excited to bring like an action figure that's not only blendable, augmented reality, teaches people about smart contracts. And people are taking photos every day. 𝗀𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗃's doing a contest. If you submit a cool photo, the winner makes $100. If you retweet one of his tweets, he's giving you a free Kenny. So really, he's going hard in the paint.
They're only $1 for the base Ken,
$1. Right? And if you blend it with the blockchain blunt, so what you do is you take the pack, you open it, and you get a blunt inside that says 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗆 with the lighter. Kenny loves Bic lighters. He insisted on it being a Bic, so it actually has his face tat on the Bic.
It's funny when we did a conference with Kenny in Toronto like years ago, and we made a bunch of stickers with that were like 𝗀𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗃 stickers and put them on lighters and gave the Bic lighters, gave them out to everyone at the conference.
He literally has a bowl full of lighters, and when we're gonna go smoke, he's like, I don't have any more Bics left, so we'll go to the store to go buy a Bic, even though there's 100 like regular lighters right there. So we wanted to make him a Bic. If you look on the side of the Bic, there's like a dude smoking a blunt on there. The gold blunts was very specific. He requested the pee stains. So it's very personal, but also like I love people taking photos every day with it, and we're really trying to make a metaverse. So we're building an uplift. There will be giant 𝗪𝗁𝗃 and Kenny statues. We already have our land plots.
Hey, what?
Yep. We've got a 𝗪𝗁𝗃 skins where you'll be able to actually become the character itself. We're already inside of an Unreal Engine radio station that's 24/7 that pulls in the Bitcoin information. It's a 3D world, but we already have advertising all inside of that 3D world that streams to YouTube. So we're really thinking about how to bring 𝗪𝗁𝗃 into the physical space. We're talking with smoke shops and stuff. It's really going to be a lot of fun. So we're so excited to have Kenny have this as part of his brand, and he's going to get 𝗪𝗁𝗃 tattooed. We've agreed for a 1 of 1. He's going to get. We've already agreed on the real estate on the human canvas. So it's got to be a highly visible place where when you drop the shirt, it still shows. So we're talking about this piece of meat right here. So that's agreed, handshook on. So we'll be seeing a big 𝗪𝗁𝗃 here and a blockchain blunts logo. It's already agreed on. It's in writing, it's in text. So if he goes back on it, then you already know.
We'll call him out on it on the Saturday.
And where do you go to get them blended?
So you go to Ken's, well, it depends if in the future, you're gonna be able to cross blend as of probably next week. But for now, you just go to Kenny's blend NFT page. Unless you have a 𝗪𝗁𝗃, then you go to 𝗪𝗁𝗃's blend page on digital acid, but it's all on NFT. And then basically you open the pack first. So you just go to blends. It's a single formula blend that opens the blunt, and then you combine it with Kenny to get him high. His eyes get red, that blunt starts flashing, and then you're ready for level 3, which we're going to drop next week. And then every week you'll be able to stack new items, different scarcity levels. and it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, Ken has so many looks, pajamas, you know, so we're going to really, we have a sort of permanent collection with Ken with our own schema. It's called 𝗀𝗄𝗿𝗀 on his collection, and it's a ongoing partnership till the, you know, infinity and beyond, I guess.
My favorite Ken NFT that I have is still the one when he took so many bong hits on a live stream that he coughed and passed out backwards on his chair, and someone took that and like turned it into like this.
I have all his nudes. I have all his Mint One nudes. All of the ones from like Dogecoin Kid or like the blacklisted accounts. I've got all of the butt ass naked Mint One Kens. I'm not proud of it, but I am proud of it.
What a weird way to support your bros now, eh?
Oh, that's love.
Well, that's what it's all about. Guys, any questions for Digital Acid?
Is the Dutchie under the A Digital as well?
That's right. A Digital Acid is where you see that, but we've collaborated with like Robert Bone, who's a Cartoon Network Adult Swim animator. And basically every pack we dedicate it to an artist, and it's sort of like a magazine. So I guess, I mean, damn, I don't want to leak the packs that are coming, but we've got some, let's say I've got 6 confirmed flavors with top people. And each blunt pack is flavored based around their artwork. And so it's always going to be blendable or burnable, which adds scarcity. And
how about our original blunts?
Oh, we got those OG Kush blunts. That's my first drop. My first NFT went out.
I remember when you did that first drop, bro.
Dude, we were doing the Burns manual, so you had to send it to a wallet. Then I had to manually like transfer it out because I wasn't whitelisted. Even the Boneheads drop was not whitelisted, so we were doing manual packs. And by the way, God bless Nefty. Like they made a business for me. And honestly, those like 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 should like buy them, like acquire them, and make Atomic the greatest platform on earth, or at least like fund those guys. Like Jesus, those people are doing God's work. Like today, 𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃 was saying, oh, what really made Wax exciting for me was Nefty.
Yeah.
So like, yo, let's give some appreciation to those guys over there, man. They are killing it, dude.
Yeah, we gotta get them on the show here.
Those guys, who are they? Those and the geniuses over there at Our Planet, we can and those I don't know if we looked at the backgrounds of those dudes, but that's mega genius stuff.
Yeah,
that's like mastermind stuff. I mean, man, some people in this community are crushing it.
Yeah, that's what got me fully invested in Our Planet. It wasn't anything other than looking into the team. And
wow. I went on their LinkedIn in February, and like, actually, you know what? I'll admit something, Aidan. We were on the call together, and you showed let's talk about that since we're here.
Yeah, didn't we?
That's right. You sure did.
Teach you,
let's fucking give it. Let's give it. My homie over here, Shawn, was like, bro, I'll show you how wax works. I'm like, I had already minted on Ethereum, got burned like everybody else with the paper and shit. And he was like, bro, just jump on the call. He gave me $10 at the time. Wax was lower, right? And he was like, yo, go ahead and buy, and I think it was a Monsters of Rap, right? So boom, I opened my pack, was my first NFT on Wax. It was such an experience. Then I used it as an evangelism tool to get other people on there. So then I was on a screen share with Aidan and meeting Aidan for the first time and Shawn. And so we went through the whole process. And then Aidan, very clever, he said, oh, you want to see how a transfer works? He said, send me the Mint One. So I sent him Mint One, and this was like of a no template, some random shit, just a test. So if you really want to know who's the real collector here, Aidan did the fucking 4D chess move and said, yeah, send me that shit, and then had me burn the rest of it. So we did 10 mints. So he got a Mint One of and so that being said, and then I was just kind of like and I remember being like, yo, I fucking can't get waxed. There was some sort of drop, and Shawn was like, yo, listen, like, I know that this is why we got to pull together as whales to like allow people who are like stuck on the exchange to be able to get wax and stuff. And I ended up solving it, but I mean, he's just it's been real cool. growing up around y'all and shit. And as you can see, it's changed a lot, but you
Been a
know,
journey, bro.
it sure has, and it feels like years, but it's really not. Like,
Dude,
it's
this year-
zero time.
This year feels like years. You're right.
And so in February, when I saw these guys, and then Aidan, I remember, so on that phone call, he had 𝗪𝗲𝗁, and you guys were in the middle of chatting while teaching me the setup of how to mint there on Atomic, and he mentioned 𝗪𝗲𝗁, and he goes, this dude is actually like, yo, Aidan's crazy. He's manually staking. Like, no, we said manually mining coins, and that shit stuck in my head, and I was thinking to myself, what the fuck is he talking about? So then I went to the 𝗪𝗁𝗁 shit. And I'm like, he's manually mining. And right there in February, once it hit me, boom, I started buying every day. And so I'm like at 80 something K. I had almost hit 100K, but then the recalculation, you know, whatever. But you know, I was listening to Aidan. Aidan was like, yo, I'm hitting this manual mining thing. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And boom, here we go, bro. That shit. Woo.
Yeah, it was Shawn's
We did
fault
good
that I
over
got
here,
in.
baby. We made money, but TC is still the king of that. We already know that. We already know. Big up
TC.
TC.
I gave TC some tips, and he said, "Here, watch this. I'm gonna make you feel like a fucking."
Dude, I'm bullish. Look, he opened my mind to 𝗪𝗏𝗶, so he actually did a call in our room, �blockchainValley, and he just jumped on the call. I loved it. Cameron was on the call, who just jumped on earlier, and he really kind of schooled us like an OG about the possibilities of 𝗪𝗏𝗶. And he's like, dude, look, there's a QR code. Sebastian, you make streetwear, right? Shouldn't you be able to scan your code right in there? And I start scanning people's brochures and shit, and I'm like, yo, people are selling shit in 𝗪𝗏𝗶. And I just went, you know, I got 6 plots. I'm trying to grow more, but you know, it's really the OG spreading that knowledge to the youngins that's really helping people out and see the light, and you know, seeing that people are selling stuff in there. And he said to me, you know, so what do you think? I said, why should I own land in a server that someone can just create, you know, another server, right? And he said, well, if there's all these rooms and one of them makes you money, what room do you think the kids are going to be in? And I'm like, well, yeah, obviously that. He goes, all right, so now once the kids are making money, where do you think the corporations are going to want to advertise? To kids who got money. And I was like, okay. And then he's like, all right, so if you own the land, don't they got to lease the space from you? Boom, paradigm shift. I was fucking in, bro. I was buying fucking packs, and you know what I mean? We going in. So you know, bless all y'all for spreading knowledge. Thank you, JLC, for helping me onboard onto Wax. You know, it's been an amazing thing for that. And my NFTs have been able to bring wealth to people in harder situations, and seeing that possible with one Wax and someone being able to make a living or make a few months worth of food, or like all that off of something that came out of Photoshop from my mind, has been just an incredible blessing that Ethereum didn't give me. And so
yeah, man,
I want to thank y'all, bro. Ken inspired me, so you know, to do a pack with him and to do his own likeness and a doll, and it's just been what an amazing ride. This fucking community kicks ass. You know, Shitcoin was the best conference ever, and even your version, Shawn, of Shitcoin was also part of the best part ever. It was like this vacation Coachella version on the side here. Like we did shrooms together. I took a whole mouthful of shrooms after you gave me that mouthful of acid video, and I was like, you know what? Fuck that. And I think I had a drop, and I was fucked.
I was so sad I
We're at
couldn't
a
go to
podcast.
Shitcoin. I was like, screw all you guys. I'm driving into the mountains.
Yeah, you were out there taking photos. It was great. I was so it was like you know, vicariously I was on the remote Shitcoin. You know what I mean? It was all the same vibe though. Everybody was smoking.
Mine was a little lonelier, but it was just as smoky and fucked up.
But you were there in spirit though. That's the
Exactly.
thing. Even TC wasn't there, but there was a painting of him that said "so wrecked," and he wasn't even there.
So crazy.
Now that is wrecked.
That's wrecked.
Yeah, man. I remember saying to Shawn after we got off that call, like, he's gonna do it. Like, he's one of those minds. Like, he's gonna run with this fucking far and fast. So I'm happy to see you killing it, man. It's I've recently, like I was talking about stacking, stacking NFTs? What's a way to take something that's readily available and have it become more and more scarce as it scales up? And you found the formula, and it's gonna fucking blow up, dude. I don't even think you know.
Brother, thank you so much. Yo, can I tell you something about, I think that you would appreciate, and that a lot of people actually, I don't think understood what it was, but it was such a fun project. We did an airdrop for Duchy holders. That was a Sega Genesis cartridge, nostalgia, and it has a Duchy on there and a Spliffy, but that's not the big deal here. I think what the really fun thing that was so fun to test, and that's something exclusive to Wax, that I can make a mistake. I didn't know what was going to happen, right? But we gamified transactions as a free game. And if it was going to be a mistake, we knew that it was an airdrop, so it's fine. We did a small test, and basically we made a Duchy and a Spliffy, but I only airdropped, and Ken convinced me to give it to all Duchy holders of all levels. For democratic reasons. And so when we did that, 142 were minted. So that means there's only 142 that I gave out, okay? Possible. So I made it blendable to switch to player 2, like a character select screen. So now you burn Duchy to get Spliffy. Now here's the interesting part. We made it blendable backwards again, so you can blend Spliffy back to Duchy, and then Duchy back to Spliffy. And theoretically, with one cartridge, you could burn through all the mints and gamify and get mint 420, mint 777. And we made a max supply on the blend of 777. So basically, we had this like infinite burning and reminting loop. And a bunch of guys competed against each other. They were running for 2 hours straight, just running transactions, signing. And there's a max supply of 142, but we have mints of 777, 420. And then I locked the templates. So basically we have impossible mint numbers inside of a lower amount of NFTs. I have a 77 mint on a 777 mint, a 420 mint. And then people destroyed all the rest of the mints. So there's only these like selected, like, emotional numbers that were attached to the repetitive, the 420 reference, and people collected them, the 666, and they made them duels, and they were free, and they sold up to like $80, $100 a cartridge. Wow. And then when it hit 777, people couldn't switch characters anymore, so it shut off the blends.
It's a mint inside of a mint. It's mint
Brilliant.
So I think we did a mathematical impossibility inside of Wax, and I'm not sure what NFT or Wax blockchain has to say about a 7.7 mint inside of 142. That sounds like that shouldn't be allowed, but it was sure as fuck fun to figure out what was going to happen. And when people were competing against each other, I have recordings of people recording the process and like battling each other from France. And it was just a transaction game, I guess, kind of like Our Planet, right? In that kind of way where you're gamifying transactions, or like a Wax Tycoon or something. But it was just so fun to experiment on Wax. So we're going to do cross collection blends, and just expect us to kind of keep trying to push, like, how can we break the blockchain? Like me and Ken, we want to break the blockchain. We want to do shit that is going to be like, will it work? Like, that's what gets me excited. Like, sales is cool. I don't really give a shit about that, but I love being able to be like, experiment. Like, that is what's awesome. We're all here like pioneering. Like, what Corey's doing is pioneering. What Ken's doing is pioneering. You're interviewing pioneers, people who will probably become like the Zuckerberg or the, whoever of the future. Like,
and
it's
Shawn
happening
too.
right
Shawn
here.
and Aidan.
Bro, you guys are fucking, these are legends on these calls, bro. So big up, man. Big up.
My goal since I first got into Bitcoin was bringing more people into it. And
evangelists.
The amount of people that I've brought in, and I see them come to amazing things and get glued to the industry, like, makes me so happy, man. I'm glad, I hear this amazing success story from another person who came through me, and I brought them into the Wax block.
Dude, it changed my entire life. It changed other people around me life, even people in other countries that I don't even know. So by you putting me onto Wax, by giving me the $10, which I probably wouldn't have done the whole process, it's complicated to get Wax and stuff. But be honest here, by me seeing like, kind of like, I remember seeing your message, you're like, you should mint family photos. And I was thinking, what the fuck is this guy talking about, bro? What do you mean? What does that conceptually mean in the mind of minting family photos? But there was a point there. And so that kind of on my Facebook feed, I'm just constantly seeing these one-word statements or these, memes and stuff. So in a way, that evangelism, Tupac said, I may not change the world, but I will spark the mind that will. And so I think that evangelism is incredibly important. Independent media is incredibly important, right? Like covering what these awesome projects and creators are doing is a gift, because not only do you get to learn, but also like people uplift themselves out of situations. I was doing other shit, dude. I was not going to do NFTs 22 hours a day where I don't even fucking sleep. In a way, fuck you, dude. You know what I mean? Like my personal life, sometimes I don't shower, dude. You know what I mean? So like in a way, damn you. But in another way, like my whole life has changed, and I have this community, and Ken and people in this whole space are just so wonderful and like chill and not douchey like Ethereum. Sorry, I'm not trying to bash people here, but Wax is like the public school cool kids. It's the smoke vibe. Corner,
Yeah, we're the smoke. We're smoking at the bus stop here.
That's what I remember, right? So like I don't remember the whole like art school, let's just all put our nose up and sip tea. I don't remember that. I remember the little rougher around the edges. So, if it wasn't for me seeing that familiarity and like, oh, I identify much better here because this is a little rough around the edges. I like this. Let's smoke a joint. Let's not be so serious, guys,
Professional.
So, big love, bro. So all the bromance going on keeps us going. I know a lot of people are lonely or not having connection. And for some people looking forward to these calls. So big up JLC.
Yeah, absolutely. We love doing these calls, and I love seeing familiar faces come back every single week. And everything that we're doing, we just want to keep putting it back into this show, putting it back into Just Learn Crypto, because just how we've got these opportunities for people to play games and earn money. We like, our mission with JLC is to create an opportunity where people can easily earn money while they learn the basics of crypto, and then figure out which rabbit hole they want to go down to next. It might not be blockchain gaming, it might not be NFTs, it might be trading, it might be mining. So I mean, it might be developing or coding, it doesn't matter, but we want to be that on-ramp for people. So
education, bro.
Love the support of everyone here, man. It's awesome.
Pioneers.
Absolutely.
You guys are pioneers.
Hey, yeah. And feel free to use the Kenny doll. It's designed to be a learning tool that only cost $1. I thought about that Monsters of Rap, and God bless R2. Like even on my birthday when the cartoons pack sold out, Robert, such a sweetheart, he sent me a bunch of packs that he personally bought. And like my wife was like, we're walking around, she's like, what? He sent it to you? So like really everybody has been so awesome. And so we hope that the Kenny doll can be a way of sort of democratizing the idea of AR and blending. And allow people to, like, we thought about, what if your first NFT was only $1, because in some of those packs they're $5 or $10. So we really it mattered a lot to us that it could be accessible and anybody could learn about a blend for $1 and have an AR thing and take a photo with it and like feel like they own it. And then they're eligible for all future upgrades, so you don't need to beast out, and the drops are always available. Like I think about like when you go to Target, imagine you're a kid, you want an action figure and it's all sold out. Dude, that's bullshit, bro. Like on some level, like I like instant sellouts.
There's both sides of it, right?
But it's sad,
both
dude.
Sides of it.
Right? And then it's only $300. So we really like combine with Ken in that paradigm of the dollar NFT, and like great art, great mechanics can be packaged into like like remember when McDonald's toys were super dope, like the Transformer actually transformed, or the Pokemon like came with a solid gold thing. Like why can't it be dope for $1, right? So I'm so proud. I want to shout out 𝗀𝗶𝗆𝗆 one more time. Amazing artist in 2D, 3D, does music videos. The dude is fucking beast mode. But yeah, to do that, $1, and hopefully anyone learning about NFTs for the first time, they'll think about the king of evangelism, Kenny, and his likeness as an action figure, and learn to just learn NFTs and just learn about crypto. We're gonna get Kenny rocking that Just Learn Crypto merch soon.
Oh, don't worry. We've had Kenny in lots of merch, but actually a couple days ago, I started my my pardon process. So within 8 months, I should be on a road trip to the US.
Yes, we need you here. Can
Nice.
you beat your charge, bro? Can I pay a lawyer to like just, you know, erase
Oh,
whatever charges you got, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. It was just I had to wait X amount of years before I could start the process.
Oh, it's like what's it called? Statute of limitations and shit. Like now you're good. You don't double jeopardy. And
Yeah,
stuff,
it was
you
just like a
can-
certain amount, and I got real lucky because I'm just straight up lovable. So my
Right,
like originally it would have
exactly.
taken 10 years. It would have taken 10 years for me to get be able to get a pardon. But my PO officer, she loved me. She invited me to dinner at her house. Like she straight up loved me. And and she set my thing down to something called a summary where it only takes I can apply for the pardon after 5 years instead of 10. So shout out to her because she hooked it up.
We need him back in the
But yeah,
US, man.
I'm stoked, man. I get my car back on Monday, and then 8 months from now, I just got to survive one more winter, and then I'm heading over to the US for a while.
Got this,
so.
bro. You got this, bro. You're
Me
gonna
and
have so much
𝗪𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗃,
fun.
we're gonna hit the road.
Bro, Miami is waiting for you. We're gonna get you on a jet ski. We're gonna get you in a fucking Lambo or win Lambo when you get to Miami. That's when we're
8
gonna
months
rent that
Lambo. Yeah.
Lambo.
No, I'm
Then we'll
stoked,
buy it.
man.
Aidan was supposed to be at the shitcoin. Aidan,
Yeah,
right?
it was,
I know.
it
I
was
kept
such
asking.
I was looking everywhere. Where's Aidan? Where's
Oh,
Aidan?
man,
I
it was
kept
such a
asking
headache
around.
with COVID going on, and the fact that Aidan to even go for 2 days would have had to take over 2 weeks out of his life away from our other business and quarantine at home. It just like didn't make sense.
That's all right. We
Yeah.
coming to Canada soon. We're gonna link up. Big link up.
Oh yeah,
Big Canada
100%.
burn down.
I'm pretty excited because in our other business we're going into the US next year. So I'll be doing a lot of traveling for that is already happening regardless, and be able to meet up with lots of people in a few different
Oh,
states.
we've never road trip together, Aidan. We should
link.
do a
Yeah,
road
we
trip.
will.
Ken's here in Miami. People are moving to Miami, dude. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, our CEO
I
for
feel
our other
documentary.
yeah, we've got access to a sweet RV when we're ready to do some road trips to the US.
And I know Corey from Uplift is in Miami. So, I mean, industry people, you know, I don't know if you're taking notice what's happening there in a crypto city with a crypto stadium with a,
Of course,
you know,
I'm taking notice.
crypto
I just
mayor,
fucking
you know.
spent $1,200 to apply for a pardon so I can come hang out with you, fucking degenerates.
All right, we'll smoke a $1,200 blunt together.
Yes, we will. In a Lambo.
This fucking big.
It's gonna be fucking awesome. I can't wait. Yeah, on that note, I don't really have anything else I want to cover. Does anyone else have anything they want to self-promote or talk about? All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you to Ubiquity, to Car City Canada, to R2 Collectibles, and to everyone who's just supporting this and our goal for educating and just making easy to understand information for people. So the Just Learn Crypto website will be coming out very soon. Something, a little sneak peek that we're building into it is that we're going to have a way for people through affiliates to actually help grow the community and earn some money themselves. So we're kind of gamifying it in another way, trying to gamify education a little bit and create an earning opportunity for people all around the world while they learn. So really, really diving into the first you learn, then you lose the L, and then you start to earn. So we really want that to be the mantra behind it. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend and make sure to follow and subscribe to Just Learn Crypto all over the internet because we're everywhere like Wi-Fi.
Stop
check out
taking
the Crypto
L's
Valley
and
101 NFT shirt. It's up for auction, guys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Throw the link, William, throw the link in the chat. It's up for auction now, guys. So make sure if you guys want to grab that 101 shirt.
Here's a
We can
quick
sell
saying
out the
for
rest
you.
of these drops. You can have this shirt that I'm wearing.
What?
Guys, stop
is it
taking
a real shirt?
Yeah,
Real
it's a
shirt.
real shirt. It'll get shipped to you.
Stop taking L's and learn crypto so you can earn crypto.
Ron, Saturday Sesh, I'm counting all my crypto. Saturday Sesh, I'm counting all my crypto. Saturday Sesh, I'm counting all my crypto. Shawn and Aidan as our guide, just learn crypto. JLC is sponsored by Car City Canada for the best quality of inventory and service in Ontario today. www.carcitycanada.ca. Also brought to you by Ubiquity, one block at a time for all of your real estate and title management needs. www.ubiquity.io, as well as R2 Collectibles, bringing artists and security needs to everyone across the blockchain today. R2-collectibles.com. That's R2-collectibles.com. JLC obligatory disclaimer. This is not financial advice. This is not financial advice. How many times do we have to say this? This is not financial advice. P.S. Lambos not guaranteed.